here we are. This is also a 5 Kage summon in case y'all missed it. Turtleneck and chain combo. Blue, you see me, you know what I'm saying, my boy. Like, all right, we gonna get started. I'm gonna try to bring in the guests one at a time. I'm still figuring out this guest star thing, so let me go ahead and see if I can bring Jelani in, show him on stream. Hopefully it works. Push guest. Oh, looks like we got him. Hold on. Cool. All right, everybody, this is the homie, the slime, Jelani Hendrix. What's good, my boy? You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. Do I have to click on it? No, right?
No, I had to unmute on the guest star.
We here. Live?
All right, hopefully I'm not echoing. Like, y'all let me know if I'm echoing or if anybody's echoing. I think there's a way I can fix that. But Jelani Hendrix in the building, my boy. What's good? Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's good, everybody? My name is Jelani Hendrix. I am a variety streamer, pop culture lover, fashion lover, member of Andromeda Arcade, jack of all trades, master of none. From Jersey and New York. What's good, y'all?
All right, for those of you who don't know, my boy Jelani is a producer on podcasts. So not only is he creative on Twitch, he's creative IRL in his real-time job. He gets paid to be creative. You know what I'm saying? So, big ups to my boy Jelani. Up next, we got the homie, the president himself. Everybody salute in the chat for the president, Noir. Give it up for the homie, the president Noir. What's good, Prez? What's good? Go ahead and introduce yourself, my boy.
What it do? Prez Noir, mental health advocate, retro game enthusiast, voice actor. We do a lot. We all about community and good vibes, and I'm happy to be back. I've been waiting for a long time for Black Boy Joy to return, so honored to be back, and let's make it happen. Let's make it a good one.
Yes. For those who don't know, this is President Noir's second time on the roundtable. The first time we did it was, I think, last May. We did it with like Blue and Be Nice and a few other people. But Prez was actually really big on TikTok before he came to Twitch. Like he had quite the following, quite the community on TikTok. Came over and made the same thing happen on Twitch. So he's just incredible content creator all around. Appreciate you for being here, my boy.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind word.
Next, we got my boy, the loudest man on Twitch. My boy, Inevitably Dope. What is good, my boy? Welcome to the round table. What's happening?
What's good, bro? What's good, man? Listen, ID, aka Inevitably Dope, if they don't know me, man. Commentator, the people's commentator, content creator, YouTube, TikToker, whatever you want to call me, man. We here making it happen.
Can we just for the people one time? Can we get one of your signature video intros real quick? Like just how you start every video, just real. Absolutely fucking love it. For those you don't know, I had the pleasure of rating ID in real life with some homies last year. But he is an excellent content creator all around. He is just, you go to conferences with the man, people recognize his voice, even if they don't recognize his face. He's done work with also, it's King Vader, right? Or
yeah, King Vader, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's done some big things. He's got some more big things coming as well. So big ups, big shout outs to my homeboy ID and Inevitably Dope. All right, last and certainly most not least, whatever I'm saying. Most might be hitting me a little soon already. But we got the coldestness, Mr. Who's Next himself, Colberg 9. Y'all give it up for my boy Colberg. What's good, Berg?
Yo, what's good, bro? Thanks for having me. So for those of you that may not know me, my name is Colberg, variety streamer. I also host this really cool talk show called Who's Next. And yes, Who's Next is a play on Goldberg's catchphrase, which is Who's Next or You're Next. But it's all about me highlighting some of my favorite content creators on Twitch, two of which are here with us today. That's LastBlackSpartan and the president himself. So on top of that, I also have two E-Feds. Well, I have one E-Fed with two shows. On Wednesdays, we do the Main Academy Wrestling Federation. That show's called Emergence. On Fridays, we do Mouth After Dark. And it's usually a vibe. But I appreciate you for having me, Sparty. And happy birthday.
Of course. This is long overdue. I wanted to do an HBCU when it's fellow HBCU grad, my boy Colberg. I wanted to do that in October. I just did not have time, capacity, because y'all know October was an absolute shit show for everybody. TwitchCon, Homecoming, the homies came to town, just did not have time to do it. But we'll make a little time for that, hopefully this year, hopefully, something like that. But like Colberg said, he has an entire wrestling universe in WWE. Is it 2K22 currently?
Yeah,
just of his community. Like some of the people in like here might end up on that roster soon enough, but it is an incredible show, incredible universe. They play the parts well. It's got me back into wrestling. Not even gonna lie, like I'm on wrestling TikTok all the time now because of that. Okay, but these are the gentlemen who will be joining me on the roundtable today. For those of you who don't know, the purpose of the Black Boy Joy Roundtable is to just present Black men who are creators in just a joyous way. Like, you know, there's a lot going on in the world, a lot of negativity. So we're here to bring a positive light to Black men on the platform who create. And the theme of this one in particular is what growing up being just a blurred in general was like, being a nerd, coming to terms with that, like what brought, you know, the joy that came from that and stuff like that. So before we get into all of that, the first question is, what are y'all drinking? Because I myself have a little mimosa right here. Like, so I got to switch to the glasses to tell you what I'm drinking real quick. Hold on.
I'm drinking, what is this? Galea Mimosa Wine Cocktail. That's what I'm drinking. I went to the liquor store right before I hopped on stream, and I was like, this looks interesting, and it tastes great. So it's like a little grape and orange blend with some wine in it. It's nice.
It's a little fancy. Press, what you got? What you got?
Yeah, so I'm the one that came in. Y'all were like, yo, be fancy as mimosas. And I was like, nah, I came in with the mango margarita. But I do. I got a little mango margarita right now. You know what I'm saying? We vibing, feeling good. A little Patron up in here. We feeling nice right now.
Hey.
That's nice. We were saying in the call, it's like, you know, you saying you felt a little more clubbish. I'm like, I mean, brunch, Atlanta, club, it's the same thing, really. Like hood and classy. Yeah. You drinking, my boy? You got anything on you?
Yeah, man, I'm sipping on. I ain't sipping on a mimosa, but you know I got a little rosé in the cup. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. I like that a lot. You know what I'm saying? All right, Berg, what you got? What you got on you?
I got this little Bellini-like situation. It's going crazy right now. It's great.
Nice.
This is absolutely, everyone has something different. Like nobody has the same exact drink. I got a little Prosecco and orange juice in my cup. Like, you know, that's one of my favorite go-tos at home. But everybody got something different. Like you can see how we can all be the same and so different. But cheers to that. Cheers to Black men. Cheers to Black history and just Black Boy Joy.
Cheers.
Thank y'all for being here. I do appreciate it. Let's get this shit going. Let's get shit on the way.
Yeah, I knew when you said mimosas, nobody was gonna bring the same drink because we all Black, so we don't listen.
At all. Exactly. All right, we're gonna start off just real, just general. Like, what brings you the most joy? Like, just act of blurred. Like, what makes you the happiest in the world? Y'all can just jump in, whoever wants to go first, and we'll just, you know, go one at a time. Don't be scared.
I was ready.
I feel like double dutch, like
right. As soon as I start talking, somebody gonna talk. So let me just wait.
President, you want to go first, bro?
Yeah. You know what? I figured somebody was gonna call a name. I'll take it. So,
Go first.
I think honestly nowadays what brings me the most joy as a blurred is the fact that I have a daughter and she's so into like games and shows and technology, and so being able to share that joy with her is probably what brings me the most joy at that point. We have fun together, we play games, she is into a show but she doesn't quite understand it. I'm able to explain it to her, and that's an experience like I know for a lot of people and their parents is like, you have a hobby or something that you're into, but your parents really don't know what you're doing. Just like, go have fun. But the fact that we can bond over the same things, it's probably, one of the greatest joys for me, honestly.
Yeah, I like that.
I love that.
I'm gonna piggyback off of President, man, because it's the same thing for me. Because I also have a kid, and seeing what I grew up on trickle down onto him kind of really is an amazing feeling, because a lot of you guys know my favorite anime is Naruto. So it was crazy seeing him say like, Dad, I'm on episode 50 of Naruto and this fight right here is happening. It's crazy. And, just seeing stuff like that happen where he kind of emulates what we do. You know what I mean? Because like, y'all know I'm a content creator. I record videos and stuff. So it's funny, like I'll go in his room and he'll be recording, acting like he's recording. But he'll just be like, hi, my name's Lil ID, and today I'm gonna be like, he'll imitate, a lot of what I do.
That's so dope.
And I'll just watch it, and I'm like, yo, that is crazy, because as us, when we were kids, doing something like what we do now was kind of looked down upon. I don't know how it was for you guys in your household.
Oh yeah,
it was just like get a real job. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like what we're doing now wasn't really the thing or the go-to when we were younger. So seeing him, you know, kind of emulate me in that aspect is it's kind of amazing, man. You know, because he already has it in his mindset that he can do whatever he wants to do. You know, so it's great.
That's awesome, dog. I can't wait to have that feeling.
Yeah, word. That's so funny that you guys say that, because like I was actually talking about it on my stream the other day. I have like a distinct memory of walking in my dad's room and like about to ask him something, and I noticed him watching an episode of Justice League Unlimited. And at the time I was just like, oh, my pops is like way older than me, but he's still enjoying cartoons. I love cartoons. I'm probably like gonna never stop it, because if he's old and he's watching cartoons, I'm gonna just keep on doing it. And I think from like that moment, I was just like, I'm gonna just stay myself and just be as nerdy as I can and just pass that on to anybody that would care. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like my little brother, he's a creative like I am, and to see him be into the same things like me and his older cousins are into is so dope, because we just have conversations all day long about nerdy shit, like, you know, comic books, manga, anime, all of it, sneakers, music. Like we nerd out about the same things. So it's like really cool to like see him grow and be like a young man, but also like stay true to himself and not care what other people think. He's a fly dude and mad creative, you know what I mean? And low-key like a player, but also he's got like Scott Pilgrim up on the TV, you know what I mean? We'd be talking about video games. So it's like, I just love that balance, you know what I mean? And I'm glad that he feels like he can be open enough and not be scared to be nerdy, because like ID was kind of talking about, like when we were younger, especially when I was in high school and middle school, you know, being a nerd and Black is kind of looked down on, especially depending on like where you grew up, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, like be Black or be this or whatever, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I don't give a fuck, because I'm still cooler than all of y'all.
Talk to him, bro.
I get in my bag.
Talk your shit, bro.
Yeah, I guess I gotta catch the hot tag from the dads in here, because I have the similar joy, because on Wednesdays I actually stream with my son. He goes by Pokemaster, and that's for a very good reason. I got him into Pokemon pretty early, but I wasn't expecting him to fall in love with it the way he did. So seeing him know things that I would probably never know or can't remember is amazing, because we play Pokemon, you know, on stream together. So I often have to ask him like, hey, what's this week 2? Or how do I evolve this? And he always knows, like every single time, like no Google necessary. So that's one thing for sure. The other thing is being able to marry my joy for gaming and my joy for wrestling and make it one whole thing. Like I didn't think I would be able to do something like that, because I've always had, like, you know, whenever there were pay-per-views back in the day, I would always have the spot open. You know, I'll cast the pay-per-view, we'll, you know, eat, you know, chill, drink, smoke, whatever. And I lost that when the pandemic hit. So now, you know, being able to bring that back through Twitch and actually have influence on what's happening on the screen, like, brings me such joy, because I would always watch the WWE product and be like, dang, they should have done this, or I would have loved it much better had they gone this route. Well, now I have that control and I can do that myself. So that's been fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. These are all amazing answers. All the dads, y'all got me choked up, because I'm like, I'm not that far away from hitting that, you know, that milestone. Like, to be honest, y'all know I'm engaged and everything like that. So I think one of the things that brought me the most joy just as a blur was like finding my person and having her like fully accept me for like who I am. Like, she sees all of this and she's just okay with it. Sometimes she finds it sexy. I don't know why, but I'm here for it. And by no means
you asking the wrong questions.
By no means, y'all know.
Yeah, the little rock, my dog.
And y'all know Keisha's not a gamer. She's not really into anime, but whenever she opens up, it's just like, I want to try this, or I want to play this game with you. It really just, it makes me choke up a little bit, because it's just like, this really is my person. Like, I don't think I could be any happier. Or have as much joy as with her. And I'm getting teared up on the first question. Let's move on. Let's move forward. Thank God for these glasses. Big ups to Keisha. She's in the chat having her emotional walls. Just W Keisha's in the chat. Now I sound like Casanat. Big ups to Casanat though. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is when did you first like realize that you were like a nerd or a geek? Like when did you like just do something, or so you were doing something and you just realized like, you know, this is kind of nerdy, like what I'm doing right now. Like, did you have a moment like that at all? Like, if you did, just go ahead and like kind of hop into it. I think I can start if y'all want. For me, it was, I want to say like middle school. I was playing Magic the Gathering in the cafeteria, and like people were looking at it weird, and I was just like, hold on, am I? And I looked who was around me, and I was just like, huh, I might be a nerd. Like, I might be a nerd. Like not the ones that really get in movies and stuff that stereotypes, but it's just like everyone's not into this. It's only me and like these 6 people, and everyone else is just chilling in the cafeteria, and we're playing a card game in the cafeteria. It's like, that might be that's probably it for me when I really realized and came to terms with. I was like, okay, I'm a nerd. Yeah.
You know what's funny though? Like, so you mentioned like how movies, especially in like the 90s, would characterize nerdiness as this stereotype, this caricature. And so I feel like that kind of poured into reality, right? You couldn't really enjoy certain things without, having that pointed out to you. And so, your question was like, when did you realize you were a nerd? Well, I realized that when basically I was kind of outcast from everybody else, right? Just for certain things that I was into, or, like I said, Magic the Gathering, right? Like nobody's playing that. I literally never played Dungeons and Dragons out of fear. Yeah. Because I just didn't want to, I didn't want anybody to be like, oh, you're a super nerd.
Right.
Like, we're going to come and beat you up. So it was just one of those things where like everyone around you, I probably had a similar upbringing to a lot of people. Like the school that I went to was mostly Black, and so there were just a lot of things that I liked that I just kind of kept to myself, and it kind of, now me being about to turn 36 in a couple months, it's kind of funny sometimes. I look back and it's like, damn, I'm just now really getting to enjoy some of the things that I couldn't do as a kid, just again, just because I didn't want people to look at me a certain way. So I think my realization time frame came like early on in life, but it wasn't really until adulthood that I was really able to kind of come into that.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into that part too.
Yeah, I will definitely say it was like early on for me. It's funny because like I have memories of me playing like Pokemon and stuff like that, because when I was younger, I think when I was like in elementary school, middle school is when a lot of the mainstream anime first crossed over to America. So like Pokemon was lit, Yu-Gi-Oh was lit, Naruto hit when I was like 13, you know what I mean? So it was like interesting that like it was like super mainstream or becoming more mainstream, but like I feel like I didn't get more ashamed of me being nerdy until I got a little bit older, when I guess like being cool and everything accepted by everyone became like more of a concern for everyone. And then it's funny because like I went to a predominantly Asian middle school, but we were in the middle of the hood. So it wasn't like my classmates were bothering me about it. It was like the other schools that were like adjacent to us had problems with me like being cool, with being nerdy and stuff like that. And it was always like a thing of like, like I was talking about before, like you're not Black enough, you know what I mean? Like I felt like I always had to be into like certain things in order to like tone down my nerdiness. And as I got older and like more comfortable with myself, I just kind of like stopped giving a fuck. But like it was definitely like middle school and elementary school when I realized I was a nerd. And then once high school hit, I was just more concerned with like getting girls and like rapping and stuff like that. And I just kind of like kept the nerdy side to myself a little bit, except for like the friends that I had, like the core group of friends I had around me. And then outside of that, nobody really knew what I was into unless they got to know me for real.
I feel that. Trail off of my man Hendrix. It was pretty much when I figured out I was a nerd. It wasn't Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball Z was like one of the first anime that like really like opened my eyes to that world. But it wasn't that, because when Dragon Ball Z came out, I feel like at that time, like even if you said you didn't watch anime, everybody knew what Super Saiyan was. Everybody knew what a Kamehameha was. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. So like when I started watching Naruto, And I remember being outside by myself, and I had to get home. I started running. Bro, why I put my hands behind my arms, bro, thinking I could run faster.
Yeah.
At that moment, bro,
It's a speed boost, bro. It's a speed boost.
at that moment, I was like, oh yeah, I'm done, bro. It's over. I'm locked in for sure, bro. For sure. I remember watching people fight, and I was like, bro, what if he hit a leaf whirlwind on this dude right now, bro? You know, and I was just like, when I started thinking in that mindset and everything that I started seeing in life, I was referencing to Naruto. I was just like, oh, it's over for me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm a 100% full-blown nerd. But the thing about it is, and this is like, you know, where I differ from my man Hendrix, and what I always hate myself for to this day, bro, is that when I was in school, like Hendrix was saying, that stuff was looked down on for Black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we as Black people were always expected to talk about sports and, you know, be the cool people, always be super fashionable and all that. And so when I was in school, there were dudes who were wearing like the Naruto jackets. And like in my group of friends, they were like, yo, look at this cornball, bro. You know what I'm saying? But on the inside, I was like, bro, that's me. Like that jacket is fire.
It's fire.
I was like,
yeah, look at it. It was like that jacket kind of tough though.
That shit is so hard. But I was like, on the outside, I was like, oh yeah, that's crazy, bro. Like, what the fuck is he on? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, bro, I look back on that moment and I was just like, damn, I'm such a cornball for not, you know, staying true to who I was. So it's like now, anybody who like is in that situation, I'm like, bro, like you like anime, just, you know, just be true to who you are, bro. You ain't gotta. The people will always fit into your circle. You ain't gotta try to fit into nobody's circle and pretend to be who you're not. You know what I mean? The people when you're true to yourself, people who are exactly like you will, you know what I'm saying, will find you. So I had to learn that the hard way. It took me a little longer to learn that, but I'm glad I'm here now. You know,
we're glad you're here too. We're gonna get into like. The next question is a direct follow-up of this one. So after Cole goes, we go just have everybody follow up. Maybe in the same order. Just everybody will just go in reverse.
Yeah. So for me, it was, you know, pretty similar to how y'all experienced that acknowledgement, if you will. So around middle school for me as well, I was collecting Pokemon cards. And I knew like one of my close friends was also collecting as well, but we didn't really talk about it outside of us because nobody else was talking about it. So we made a plan. We were like, you know, every Saturday at our local mall, Bookland used to have like the little, you know, Pokemon trading card game. You could just pull up, had everything set up for you. You could just play cards, trade cards with, you know, the community. So I was like, we're going to find out, you know, who's who whenever we go to Bookland on Saturday, because ain't nobody that's a true Pokemon fan or a true nerd is going to miss this event. He didn't even come. So it was just me and a bunch of people that I didn't even know. So it was like, dang. And that's when I kind of realized like, yeah, I think I am a nerd because I'm here with all these people that I feel like I have nothing in common with outside of we're here for the same reason. Yeah. So, you know, being, you know, a football player in high school, I kind of suppressed my nerddom. And it was wild. It was wild because even like I got to go back to middle school now because, you know, like you said, it's levels to nerddom, right? And there are different avenues of nerddom. Like somebody that may be into Pokemon cards may not be into professional wrestling, but I was into both, you know, so I had, you know, specific people that I had to talk to about these things. And it got to a point where I got sick of being bullied about, you know, loving wrestling and loving Pokemon cards that at that time, the Attitude Era, like basically flowed through my veins. So I had a whole victim list in middle school of people that talk shit. And whenever I caught them during break,
imagine having the wrestling death note. That's crazy.
I was wrestling. Yo, that's crazy. In middle school, and I had a whole victim list. They was about to pack me up. Because what ended up happening was one person that I did put in the transmission, he didn't wake up before break was over, so he was late to class, and he had to tell his teacher why. So they called me to the office. They, you know, went in my backpack. They saw the victim list. They were like, "Yeah, you know, you got to go."
Nah, son, that's cool.
That's straight out of a movie. Wait a minute. Yo, Berg, you might be a wrestling like villain for real. Like,
my boy Colbert was choking him out like, "Is wrestling real now?"
Yo, I appreciate y'all for telling these stories. These are great. stories. I just want to say, like, you can be a nerd about anything. Like, you could be a nerd about sports. Like, I mean, half of those nerds are on ESPN right now, like, just talking about sports, never played a day in their life. Like, and you could be an athlete and also be a nerd about the sport you play, or Naruto, like that dude on the lines. But the follow-up question, I want Cole to go first. We'll go in the same order, like reverse order. When did you first have confidence or pride in being a nerd, and what was your proudest moment as a nerd so far?
So for me, I guess it would come around the time before we even started streaming, right? So you know, I met Blue Satire in a group meet just off some random stuff. He and a few other guys, you know, we started talking, and that's when I felt like, okay, I found my people. Like, we could discuss things that I wouldn't be able to just discuss freely with my IRL friends, because either one, they judge, or two, they wouldn't understand. So being able to find that group originally and then transition that to Twitch and finding even more people that were into the same things, like, was really, really eye-opening and super dope for me. And I want to say my favorite moment is because, you know, wrestling is so niche. You know, everyone is not going to be a wrestling fan. There are people who, you know, may know about, you know, wrestlers of the past. You know, they'll name drop Stone Cold and The Rock and, you know, people like that, but they're not knowing the Dolph Zigglers, the Kevin Owens, the Kenny Omegas. They don't know those guys. But being able to talk to my friend group now who had like wrestling pasts but were not into wrestling, like hearing them, you know, pretty much speak the lingo of wrestling, right? Because there's a certain lingo that true wrestling fans will share, where, you know, putting someone over, or nah, they didn't sell that, or, you know, stuff like that. But hearing them like use that lingo is like, yeah, I've done what I was supposed to do. So yeah, that's probably one of my proudest moments in, you know, being in this space of nerddom.
Love that.
What was the first half of that question?
I knew you was going. How did I know? I'm sorry if I was like, I'm gonna have to repeat the question right now.
I got the second half, but the first half I was like, damn, I lost it.
I'm glad you said something, I do, because I
got judged. So one more time.
Colbert started getting deep, and I was like, yeah, hell yeah, Colbert.
Yeah,
I forgot the damn question.
It's like, damn, have I been proud as a nerd yet? What the fuck?
One more time. The question is, when did you first have confidence or pride in being a nerd, and what's your proudest moment as a nerd?
Okay. Got it. So when I first got the confidence was, you know what I'm saying? As I progressed through life and stuff like that, just meeting people who kind of had the same similarities as me. Like, I remember meeting a good friend of mine who was reading the Naruto manga. And at that time, I had no idea what, you know, manga was. I had no idea how ahead of it was, you know, in comparison to the actual anime. So when I met him, like, we got real close and stuff like that. And then he started introducing me to more people. And I was like, damn, there's a whole world, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the stuff that I love. So that's when I started getting confidence. And now, like, it's literally who I am now. Like, it's like I saw Yazzleberry in the comments saying, you know, it's part of, you know, fashion now. It's in streetwear now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like almost everything I wear is anime-esque. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was definitely one of my that moment where I became confident in that. And for that second half, my proudest moment would probably have to be where I'm at now, man. Like, I mean, I literally get paid to, like, you know what I'm saying, talk my shit on anime and make all these references and cover all these fight scenes and stuff like that. So I would say that's definitely my proudest moment, because I for sure never saw myself being in the spot that I'm at now as a kid. You know what I mean? It was just enjoyable to watch and be entertained by, but now it's like, you know, I'm getting paid for it and it's my thing, it's my career. So that right there is an amazing feat, for real. Just shows how much we've progressed.
For sure.
I think, like, you know, I think I got the confidence when I got a little bit older. Like, I mean, I want to say, like, a little bit out of high school, I would say like 18, 19. I just started, like, really embracing it. But I always had homies that, like, allowed me to indulge in my nerdiness. And I guess, like, that kind of bleeds into my proudest moment, or I guess my proudest achievement rather, is like being able to curate a good amount of friends, like, that are open with themselves with what they're nerdy about. And it doesn't always have to necessarily be like comic books or like manga or anime or stuff like that. Like, I got homies that nerd out about music that I can talk to. I got homies that nerd out about fashion that I can talk to, and like, you know, the traditional nerdy shit, like, you know, comic books and everything. So, like, being able to have a solid foundation of people that I am comfortable enough to be myself around, and being able to introduce them to each other has always been fun. You know what I mean? Like I've always been like the dots connector a lot of friend groups, and like even now with like joining AA, a lot of my IRL like homies from Jersey know a few of those homies, and you know they play games together. We talk about nerdy shit. You know what I mean? Like it's cool. You know what I mean? Like and it's just so much fun getting the chance to just like put people on to other people and make people feel more comfortable. That's always been my whole thing. I just want everybody to feel comfortable when they're in my presence. So if that means like putting all the nerds together that are into this certain thing and you know like stuff like that, like I think that's like what I really really value.
100%.
100%, dog.
So for me, I think my moment of like coming into pride as far as like being nerdy and whatnot, I'm a graduate of Full Sail University, which is an entertainment college in Florida. And so there are a lot of different backgrounds that come into that facility. There's people who are into recording arts. There's people who are web developers. There are people who are game designers. There are people who do film, all these different things. And so it was kind of like a gradual thing, because I went originally because at the time I was really into production and music, something I still do. That's what I got my degree in, recording arts. But you kind of start off in the beginning and you're around a bunch of music nerds. So it's like, okay, cool. Everybody understands like, you know, the depths of the things that I'm into, you know, all the workstations that we use, all the different mics, all that stuff. But then as you progress through your program, you start collaborating. So you start meeting people in game design, you start meeting people in web development. And it's like, hey, don't tell nobody, but I know how to program in HTML too. I know some CSS as well. Now, all of a sudden, I found more people who are into some of the other nerdy things that I'm into. And now it's like, okay, you know what? I can be myself. I can really and truly be who I am, because I don't have to hide this one thing and people are going to look at it like, oh, that's that weird shit, right? So college was really that first moment where it was like everybody around me understands me and understands the things that I'm into. And then I think, you know, my proudest moment, you know, just to kind of, you know, I guess piggyback off of Dope is like, is where I am now. Like I literally spent like the last couple of months, you know, putting together the stream I just did yesterday, where I was able to play a game with somebody that's a one-player game, but we played it with two players using the exact same controls to control one character. And that takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of work. And, you know, like if I explained to someone what all had to go in the background, they'd be like, yo, that's some nerdy shit. But, you know what I'm saying? It works, and it ended up being super entertaining. So to be able to put together, you know, those type of events and, you know, just use the things that I love now and to provide entertainment to a community that I've curated really, really makes me happy. So yeah, definitely where I am now is my proudest moment.
Fire.
I think we can all, like, y'all really hit the nail on the head with saying like where we are now, because like Jelani said, like ID said, we're entertaining people passionately with just stuff we like to do, and like it just happens to be a whole lot of nerdy shit for the most part. Like, and we found our people. Like, you know, y'all are my people. Chat is my people. Like, you know, even some of the friends I made along the way. Like, I had friends in high school I played Halo 2 with. That's the reason I got the tattoo in the first place. Like, because I still kick with them today. Like, some of them were my wedding party. You know, they're not exactly black, but you know, I had my people early. But once I got to like college, and you know, like Lupe was rapping about like Final Fantasy and anime and stuff. He was, you know, they were name dropping stuff. Like, I was like, hold on, if Lupe likes this stuff, and like, you know, the Childish Gambino came around, he was rapping about nerdy shit, which is like, well, what the fuck I need to be worried about? Like, I ain't gotta be worried about nothing. And of course, you know, going to HBCU, it's just nothing, and that's all black men that are all into the same shit you are. You're gonna find people who are into the same shit you are. Like, I found my people who like anime only subbed. I found my people who like, you know, who would debate about PS2 versus Xbox. Like, I found just a little bit of every, even women who were into the same shit. Like, one of them still one of my best friends today. Like, we talk about gaming all the time, like almost all the time. So it's like, I think that moment is like finding your people. Then you don't have to, you know, you can have pride in it. And I think my proudest moment as a nerd, and this is gonna sound real, just significant, but like, I won a Magic tournament, like when I was in college. Like, it was a Friday night Magic thing. I was like, I actually won this shit. Like, I was maybe one of 4 black people there. Me, one of my best friends, and like 2 other guys that we know from going weekly. And I won this shit. I was just like,
that's gas.
Bro,
I was like,
please
what?
take pride in that shit. Because if you play Magic the Gathering, you understand that shit is not easy. So
It's not. It's really not. And for me to like be able to like understand like that set that day and like draft all the right cards and like just get my way through like maybe 5-6 rounds of people who have been going to the same shop for like years, and that was my first summer doing it. It felt pretty damn good. I was like, you know, I dress a little cooler than most people that go to those types of shops, so they were looking at me like I didn't belong there.
And then you turn around and won on top of that.
right.
At that point, I had the confidence. So it was just like, okay, whatever, nerd. So, you know, that was one of my proudest moments, just being able to do something like that. But of course, like having this community and being part of this community and y'all's communities and all these other, just, it's a great feeling. And I take a lot of pride in that. And being able to meet people in real life who like, I can just kick it with. Like, you know, if y'all come to town, I got y'all. If I go to y'all town, y'all got me, type of thing. Like, it's just, it's unspoken. Everybody doesn't understand it, but we understand it. And that's really all that matters. And I think that's what it is to be a nerd with confidence and be proud of that, is that you understand why you like it. Everybody else don't have to. That's their business.
Yeah.
Spartan, I got one question for you.
Sure.
Standard or draft in Magic?
If I got the time to learn the set, definitely draft. For sure. Like, just drafting is a little bit fun because it kind of puts everyone on a more even playing field. Because, like, it's random. You know, you got to pick the right things. It's that type of skill. It's like putting stuff together and doing what little research you need to, like, get the wins. So, it feels like it's just more fun to me, like, honestly.
I agree. Yeah, I'm definitely a draft player.
Yeah, we were doing drafts at work before the pandemic. Like, at my job, like, we would just take an hour during lunch and just have drafts. It was kind of fun. Okay, the next one's gonna be a little fun. So this is gonna be show and tell. Tell us, or even show us, a nerdy item that's like your favorite thing, or important to you, symbolic. Like, it could be like within arm's reach. If you gotta get up and go get it, that's fine. You can just even tell us about it. You know, maybe put a picture up if you want, since I think most of y'all are on y'all virtual camera. If y'all would just put a picture up. I see my boy Prez has his already. And we all know what that is.
Hello, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bust out the whole shrine.
While the rest of us kind of go pick up our stuff, you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know what that is a Dreamcast VMU. First of all, the Dreamcast is my favorite console of all time. I'll die on that hill till the day I die. But the VMU was just something that was just it really, honestly, the Dreamcast as a console was ahead of its time, but the VMU was this thing. It was your memory card, but if you took it out, you could carry it with you. You could have like little mini games that you could play on it. You could actually go through your memory, and you know, if you needed to move things around, you could take that card, put it in somebody else's console, have your, you know, your game right there. You put it directly into the controller. When you're on the game itself, it had a display screen. So like, say you were playing NFL 2K, you could see the plays on your screen rather than having to look on the TV, so you could hide which play you about to call and stuff like that. So it was just a really, really dope part of history, and I've always loved it. So I keep that thing on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, hold up, real quick. President,
awesome.
bro.
Yeah.
What's your favorite game on Dreamcast, bro?
All right. Come on. All right. So it's not fair, right? Because I grew up in fighting game heaven. So Marvel vs. Capcom 2 it feels like a cop-out answer, right? It feels like a cop-out answer, but right. It's the truth. It is what it is. That's my favorite. Now, you know, if y'all give me too much time, I'm gonna just start rattling off names. You know, we can talk about CVS, we can talk about Alpha, we can talk about King of Fighters 99, all that, right? But the Dreamcast really just had a
I'm following you right now.
Yeah.
I would hope y'all would do that, you know.
Nah, you talking though, for real.
Yeah. Dreamcast definitely had a library for sure. And if y'all ever have the opportunity, like I know You know, the Dreamcast unfortunately kind of fell prey to a lot of different things. It was not really great marketing here in the States. You know, kind of honestly too much too soon. I don't think everybody was necessarily ready for it. Like, it was already internet ready to go, but internet speeds wasn't really like that. Like, I was already playing Quake 3 Arena over dial-up on my Dreamcast. Like, there was so much going on with that console. But I think the probably the nail in the coffin really to the Dreamcast was the fact that the PS2 had DVD capabilities and Dreamcast didn't, and that's kind of what killed it. So
because that got that in regular people's homes. It's like, well, we need DVD player, and the kids want it, so it does both. Why not?
Yep. So the moment that happened, Dreamcast was done. But again, you know, dope ass console. You can, you know, unfortunately for it, burn games really easy. And now they got the SD conversion where you don't even need the disc. You can just, you know, put the SD card in, play every game in the library. So you know, if you get the chance, go have fun. You will enjoy it.
Y'all mind if I go next?
Yeah, go for it.
Because, you know, you brought up Sega, and everybody's seen me show this off before. It's in my damn Raid video, but this is my original Genesis from 30 years ago. My very first video game console. My mom found it a few years ago. I've had it on my couch ever since, and it just happened to be 30 years to Christmas Day that I first had this. And my first game. Sonic. I'm not gonna show y'all too much because it has my name on there. Two of my most prized old possessions. Like, it's just, I won't go anywhere without them at this point. I found them. I'm never letting them go. Sorry, Ryan. That's my brother.
That's one thing I kick myself in the butt for sure, is never keeping my old consoles, bro.
Same.
Like, I wish I still had my PlayStation 2, my Dreamcast, my Sega. Like, man, I look back on that, I'm like, I'm such an idiot. But I'm gonna recollect all the systems and start, you know, going crazy for sure. But if we talking about items that we care about, bro, this actually just recently happened. I haven't found a place for it, but somebody reached out to me, man, and they DM'd me, and they told me that they do laser wood artwork, and I was like, what? Like, I'd never heard of that before. So I was like, oh, damn, that's fire. And he was just telling me, like, he's a fan of, like, what I do and stuff like that, or a supporter. I don't like to use the word fan, but he's like, I'm a big supporter of what you do, and I kind of wanted to use my influence on you and stuff like that. So he asked me what's my favorite anime. I said Naruto, of course. And he asked for, like, just to, you know, give him a significant moment that I liked and to choose one. And I did. And he ended up doing this, man. So this is the moment where, you know, Itachi and Sasuke had their, you know, final bomb before he left. You know what I mean? For good. And Sasuke got his clarity. And he did all of this out of wood, you know? And I think this was amazing.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I was just like, bro, when I got, like, seeing it in pictures on IG and stuff did not do it justice. When I got it in hand and I looked at it and saw the detail, I was just like, yo, this is insane. So I had to show him off, you know, and go crazy, man. He absolutely, like, he does his thing. So big shout outs to him. But yeah, this right here is definitely something that I love, because obviously I'm hugely, like, very inspired by anime. I keep a lot of people that I, you know, find inspiring, and, you know what I'm saying, on my wall. And this right here was just another one of those moments. So yeah, I keep this on me at all times for sure. It's one of the first things I look at when I walk into the office.
I'm gonna need you to promote this man in my chat. I need you, whoever did it, drop their name, their IG, website, whatever it is. Like, appreciate that. While he does that, Jelani or Cole, whichever one of y'all want to go.
I mean, I don't mind going. I'm about to show off a little shrine right now.
Go ahead.
So, my favorite comic book character and of all time is Static Shock, Virgil Hawkins. When I was younger, I used to have dreads, and when I saw Static Shock on TV, in my mind, I was like, oh, like, someone made this TV show for me. Like, it looks just like me. He has cool powers. He's a smart kid. Fly. I was like, oh, this is a cartoon creator for me. So my pops used to collect comic books. I have Static #1 in its original packaging, so that's one of the things. I got the Akira variant by Nicholas Draper Ivy.
Nice. That's sick.
I have a signed poster from Nicholas Draper Ivy that my homie got me when he went to Comic-Con a couple years ago. So I have that. I got this Static figure. You know, I also have a Static Funko in the back, and I rock this chain pretty much every day. I don't know if you can really see the details, but I have a Static necklace that I rock. So yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite characters. Yeah. I just keep a lot of Static shit on me. You know what I mean?
I remember that was like one of the first things I saw about Jelani when I saw him on IG was that one of the very first videos I saw him was him talking his shit, because I guess someone in his chat said like he doesn't know Static, and he was like, "Who don't know Static?" He brought out the comic. Who don't know Static? Brought out the chain. Who don't know Static? Brought out. I was like, "Damn,
bro." I have more comics just chilling. You know what I mean? But it's just, you know, that's my guy. He's like, the show still holds up. The comic books are dope. You know what I mean? The new run is really good. I love the Dakotaverse. There's a lot of like amazing, rich characters. Like Milestone Comics are some of my favorites. And it was like one of those things that it was like one of the first nerdy things that my dad passed down on to me, because I have a lot more like Milestone Comics too in their original packaging. And I was just like, damn, like it just meant a lot. You know what I mean? So I make sure I got a whole bunch of Static shit around me. I think my first tattoo is probably going to be a Static variant on my forearm. So that's definitely like my nerdiest, coolest.
You know it's real when you get it tatted. That's how you know it's real.
So,
all right, Bird, what you got, Doug? Oh,
Ash found the person for me, because I was trying to go through my DMs, but she found it.
Oh yeah.
Posted it. So his name is Blanco Crafted on IG. So if anybody wants
it,
I don't know if his permissions are open, but that's the guy, bro. He's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, y'all definitely go check that man out. It's in the chat. If y'all need it, Bumpers got it, Ash got it in the chat. Appreciate you for sharing that with us, ID and everybody else.
Sure.
All right, Berg, you up? What you got?
All right, I guess I got to stay on brand here, but I got to preface this in saying that The Undertaker is my favorite wrestler of all time. Like, he's that dude. But one of the community members got me my favorite version of Kane, and it's actually signed by Kane. You know, fuck Glenn Jacobs. Fire. And then it's like my favorite gear too, because I love Kane when he had like more black than red. So I don't even know if they knew that detail, but the fact that they got me this signed by him was pretty dope. So that's probably my favorite thing when it comes to.
That's tough. Is it you got a frame for that? You gotta get that framed.
Yeah, I got it in the plastic. I just took it out for y'all.
That's fire.
Dude, we gonna get you a dope frame for that, black and red frame shit. Thank y'all for sharing that. Like,
used to always freak me out, bro. Oh my god, same. When Undertaker used to like be on the ground and he just sit up, I was like,
to this day, I've never seen anyone sit up faster.
Yeah, right. Facts.
No.
He springs up on some anime shit. It's just like, whoop.
So as a kid, like, you know, the veil of, you know, is wrestling real, right? I knew it was a show, but there was this moment, and, you know, Kohlberg, I know you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. But there was this moment during one of the shows where lightning came down from somewhere and hit the stage, and for that brief moment, I was like, "What's going on right now?" Like, I just actually
even I know exactly what the moment you're talking about.
What is happening? But yeah, I always remember that moment. Like the Kane and Undertaker saga was just something that sticks with you. It was brilliant writing.
Brilliant.
I appreciate y'all for sharing these items, like these treasures y'all have, like from new to old. Like, it's just, we had a little bit of everything. I really love that. Like stuff you got from your community, from your parents, from just, you know, some random like person who's a supporter. Like that's awesome. I'm really glad we got to see all that. Now I want to talk about y'all first time being a nerd in public. Like, what was your first public like nerd event, like a convention or a party or a tournament? Like, what was the first one you attended at any age?
I guess outside of the Bookland Pokemon event, as a whole adult, I went to our local zoo because Pokemon Go was a thing, and they had Pikachu at the zoo. And there were going to be a lot of rare Pokemon dropping that day. So I went to the zoo and caught Pokemon all day. Like, and it's funny, I found an area because I like Gyarados. He's one of my favorite, but not my absolute favorite. But the requirements to get Gyarados on Pokemon Go were like insane. You had to catch like 1 billion Magikarp. So yeah, I did that day because Magikarp were actually spawning near the aquarium. So yeah, that was probably the nerdiest thing I've done regarding like events or anything like that outside of the Bookland thing.
What was the first?
The first was indeed the Bookland thing, the Pokemon trading card game, just going to Bookland on the weekends, trading actual Pokemon cards with, you know, other people. Yeah, that was definitely my first.
Okay. Dope.
Mine was definitely probably attending MegaCon, I believe, a few years back. That
was your
like
first?
Yeah, that was the first time like I surrounded myself with like anything and everything anime and games. But that was a really dope moment. That actually made me want to start getting into that a lot more because I felt at home. You know what I mean? Like people were dressing up as all these anime characters, a lot of different designs. People were dressing up like Guile, Ryu, and Ken from Street Fighter. And I was just like, yo, like, why have I never gone to this before? You know what I mean? But yeah, that was definitely one of those for me.
You can do a favorite too if you want. Sorry, Prez. I'm like, we might as well do favorites as well, like first and favorite. ID.
Wait, what?
I'll say we might as well do like first and favorite. Like, you know, you talked about your first. What about your
favorite? First,
yeah, we might as well do.
So my first was
we amended the question a little bit. Shouts Cold.
First was MegaCon, and then my favorite was probably E3. This was 2016, I think, or 2017, something like that. But this is when, like, you know, this was when Spider-Man on the PS4 was coming out, because I'm a huge gamer too. So like Spider-Man on the PS4 was coming out, new Mortal Kombat was coming out. I actually got to play Spider-Man before, you know, it was actually released. So I got to play the demo and all. I was just really just nerding out, going crazy. And it's dope because E3 actually invited me to come out this year. But unfortunately, Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo ain't gonna be there, but it's all good. You know what I mean? So I mean, it makes for good networking, but it's just dope to see that come back full circle, you know. But that was definitely probably my favorite moment was going to E3 and just, you know, being around a bunch of gamers and nerds, and, you know, I got to meet like TSM Myth and all these cool people that I watched. So yeah, that was definitely my favorite for sure.
That's dope.
Yeah. So for me, my first, much like, you know, Dope was saying, my first really wasn't that long ago. In 2017, I was able to attend my first fighting game tournament here in Atlanta, which they don't have final round here. He's not hosting it anymore. But that used to be one of the premier tournaments. It used to be where Capcom Cup would kick off at. It used to be like Atlanta still is kind of like Tekken Central, but, you know, because final round isn't here anymore, like the major tournaments are kind of be held, you know, they're held elsewhere at this point. But 2017, attended my first tournament, competed in my first tournament, got my ass whooped, but I had a ton of fun. I got 0-2 about it. Had a ton of fun. The next year I came back, I competed in Dragon Ball Fighters. I actually almost made it out of pools that year, so didn't get 0-2 that year. But, you know, final round used to be a really dope thing for me. Just not only it being a fighting game tournament, but also they would hold cosplay events and stuff like that as well. So it was my first foray into, you know, just being surrounded, you know, by nerdy shit and just being able to enjoy myself. My favorite event was actually last year. I attended DreamHack in ATL last year, and that was my first time being able to meet some of the people that I've befriended here on Twitch, and that was just such a dope moment of like, damn, we've been chatting and, you know, and interacting and just kind of enjoyed each other's content for this, you know, this ride. And now, you know, we finally get to dap it up and really chop it up. And, you know, it's really dope when you know, because I'm gonna keep it real, there's certain people, like they're one thing when they're creating content, and then when you meet them in real life, something completely different. But in DreamHack, everybody was exactly, you know, who I'd interact with. It was the exact people that I met, and I was super happy about that. I was like, yo, you know, I'm you know, really enjoying this. So for sure, last year was a dope moment, and hopefully we get to continue to progress that this year.
That's awesome. We got to go to DreamHack then. Like maybe not this year because I'm getting married. I'm be broke. But next year, all the cons, like all the cons I'm going to, every single one, like all of them.
Oh yeah, we got to make it happen for sure.
Yes, that's.
Jelani, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, I may. So I have like kind of like two first because I want to hit both sides of my nerddom. I'll say like the first like actual kind of like comic book nerdy thing. I went to 2011 Comic-Con with my pops and my brother and a homie of mine at the time. We went on a Thursday, so nothing was really popping off. But I got to see the Green Hornet car. I got to see a whole bunch of comic books and kind of walk around, and that was like my first time actually at like a comic book convention, and that was like really dope. And then like I think maybe the same year or maybe like a year after, since I'm like at the time I was really trying to be a rapper, I went to like this Team Backpack Cypher event. And for people who are not really familiar with Team Backpack, it's like it's kind of like an organization that hosts all these ciphers of a lot of like up and coming rappers, a lot more established rappers as well. So that was like my first time at like a big rap thing. I was able to meet other YouTube rappers and artists at the time. And I thought that was like really cool. So those were both like pretty like distinct memories. And I want to say my favorite was last year when I hung out with Spartan and we went to Atlanta Anime Expo. I think that's what it's called.
Anime Weekend or some Anime Weekend Atlanta.
Yeah. And that was like my first time like cosplaying too. I cosplayed as Vegeta in his Batman outfit, and that was just like really special because I mean it was my first time meeting a lot of like the Twitch homies, and then it was my first time being at a real like anime convention and surrounded by like people who I felt like were my people, and it was just cool, man. It was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of people, do a lot of cool shit. I was drunk that whole weekend, so it was fun on top of that. You know what I mean? So that was a cool vibe.
That's dope.
I can't confirm. I actually used that picture of your cosplay for the flyer.
Yeah.
So if y'all want to see it, take another look at the flyer. I actually have two first as well because I don't remember which one was actually first, but they're the earliest ones I can remember. One was a Madden tournament. I think it was one of the Madden challenges in like 2004 or 5 or something. It might have been 2005. And I remember going there and everybody was using the same strat, which was pick the Cowboys, get one touchdown, and run the clock out. And I was just like, this is whack. Like, I don't want to come to these no more. And then another one was, I think it was a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, which I did terribly in, which was around the same time, I'm pretty sure. Me and one of my boys in 10th grade or something like that, he was like, let's go to this tournament, dog. I was like, all right. So we went. I think I won like one game. And he got to like the finals and lost. He was mad about it for like a week. It was crazy. But those were like small chips compared to like when I went, my favorite, which is when I went to Dragon Con in 2013, I want to say, maybe 14. I went to Dragon Con. That was my first time just doing everything. I went to the parade. Like the Dragon Con parade is amazing. Like you see just nerds of every shape, size, and costume, cars, like, you know, like the Ghostbusters car and stuff, like the Batmobiles. Like they're just marching down the street through downtown Atlanta. Absolutely insane. If you ever have a chance to go, you should go. But the best part of it was I got to meet the voice of Master Chief. Ooh. And y'all know, y'all already know how big of a Halo fan I am.
You freaking so I passed out, didn't you?
Wait a second.
I don't get starstruck. I don't get starstruck. I've met rappers, celebrities. I've met Wiz Khalifa before. I've met Big Crit. Like I've met just, you know, people just in Atlanta. I don't get starstruck. I was starstruck by the voice of Master Chief. I was stunned. I was just sitting there like, yo, that's crazy. Because when he started talking, I was just like frozen. I was just like, really him. And so like I got a picture signed and I got to take a picture with him. But the best part was he saw my Halo 2 tattoo and he signed it. There's still a picture of him signing my tattoo in my phone. That was one of my favorite. Like that's when I knew I was like, yeah, being a nerd in public is fucking lit. I gotta do this more often. This is amazing. Like, and like just to, you know, piggyback on Jelani a little bit, we were getting all types of fit compliments while we were at Anime Week in Atlanta. Like just because, you know, we was dressed to the nines. Like he was in costume, but I just paid a drippy anime fit, and being able to just be acknowledged that you're doing something that you really like to do, and that is like, you know, people make you feel cool about it. It's like, damn. How do you beat a feeling like that?
That's like one of my favorite things too. I love rocking some like nerdy anime shit and then like having that one person be like, yo, I know exactly what that is, know exactly what you're referencing. Like that is so hard. Like I have one of my prized possession, my grails when it comes to clothes is like a Supreme Aeon Flux jacket. And whenever I rock
you told me about that.
There's always someone that recognizes it and like gets giddy. And like I love that because like Aeon Flux outside of like a movie is like a super niche MTV cartoon from like '92. Like not a lot of people even really know about that, or Liquid Television, that whole programming block at all. So whenever I get to like nerd out and like connect to someone over that, or whenever I'm rocking like any type of fit that has like some nerdy shit on it, like it's always like cool seeing your people out in the wild and getting that little like, yo, I see you type of compliment.
One of those
Mhm.
you know type things for
Exactly. It always makes me feel good.
Those moments hit different.
I'm not gonna lie. That show,
Yeah, nah, it's weird as hell. It's weird as hell, but I love the aesthetic. I love the aesthetic.
Oh man, okay. Thank y'all for those answers. Like so many different types of answers. Like I absolutely love that we all had the same sort of feeling just being around our people. Like whether they were black or not, just being able to talk to people about like really just nerd out without feeling judged or like weird about it was like it's always a great feeling. So the next question is about relationships and dating. Has being a blur had any positive effects or moments in your dating life, relationship, like, you know, whether you're with someone or not, or if you've been just kind of, you know, in the dating pool? Like let's talk about that a little bit. I kind of already answered the question, so I'm gonna let y'all have this one.
You said has being a blurred affected our relationships? How has it affected our relationships?
In a positive way. Has it, you know, is there any good like positive moments as far as like
100%? Because like me, at that time that I like really started, you know, when I met Velvet and stuff like that, I was already in my final form when it came to a blurred. So I was just like, you know, this is who I am, bro. If you ain't rocking with it, move on. You know what I mean? And she definitely accepted it, bro. And she, you know, we've been together for super long now. You know what I mean? And it's got to the point that where, you know, my, you know, love for anime and things like that along those lines kind of bled into her and what she wanted to start watching. So I remember the first time she asked me like what anime should she watch, I passed out. I was like, oh, I've been waiting to hear that for so long. So,
he should ask me that, and my heart just started beating fast. I fell in love all over again.
It's the best feeling in the world, because one thing I always say is like there's anime for everyone. Obviously, I'm not gonna try to force it on you, you know, like a Jehovah's Witness or something. But I was like, there's anime for everybody. You know what I mean?
Have you read this good book? And it's just Naruto number 1.
It's like, you know the truth.
Right. But you know, I started. So she's a major in psychology, so I put her on to Death Note, and when she watched Death Note, she fell in love. You know what I mean? And that started opening the floodgates to everything else she started watching. So, you know, it helped our relationship, you know, benefited our relationship in a great way, because she kind of wanted to dive more into my world, you know what I'm saying? And she ended up falling in love with it. So yeah, it's definitely been a very good and positive thing being a blurred as far as the relationship goes, you know.
You know what's real crazy, ID? She's also a psychology major. You know, she's in school for that right now to get her doctorate. And the second anime I put her onto that she really liked was Death Note. Like just parallels. Inuyasha.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was a good start for her. She finished the whole thing by herself. I didn't even watch it with her.
That's dope, because not a lot of people, I feel like now people like now when they start getting into anime, they don't want to backtrack. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to go back and check out the older anime and stuff like that. They kind of want to see the newer stuff. So for Keisha to do that and still fall in love with it is amazing, for real.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. That's hella dope. I'm done.
I was like, whoever wants to go.
I guess for me, with Nobody's Gamer, and her name is that for a reason, because she doesn't really game for. There's been a few games that she's gotten into with me, like during the pandemic, Animal Crossing dropped, and it was my first Animal Crossing, but her being able to just log on to Animal Crossing and go shopping, like that helped us, you know, survive the pandemic. So that was dope, you know, to see that, you know, gaming, you know, made a big difference in our day-to-day, because she had to get on to see, you know, what was in the shop today, just so she could walk around the island and stun on these hoes, as she said. But
I love
between that and also, I know she was like not the biggest comic book person. Like she, you know, watched things, but just, you know, the whole MCU and us being able to, you know, watch those things and talk about those things and try not to miss movies when they drop. Like that was one of our non-negotiables. Like no matter what's happening, we're going to go see this, right? And, you know, we will both agree. So those two things for sure definitely help, you know, connect the dots, if you will.
That's awesome. It's just more Keisha parallels because I got Keisha Animal Crossing during the pandemic because we were long distance still, so that helped us stay connected. But she would do the same thing and stunt on host with her island. I was stunt for her because her island was insane. She had a Starbucks, she had a Sephora. I was just like, she had a diner. I was like, what? Her island was shitting on mine. I was like, damn,
going crazy.
You gotta play catch up.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, a little different, right? So I'm a single Pringle, but what I will say is what it has done is open up the caliber of woman that I talk to now, right? So before, what I was into, and you know, my efforts, my hobbies was kind of like a separate thing, you know, whatever you into, it's whatever, right? But now that I'm meeting people and I'm talking to women who are also into the same things, it's like our interactivity and the things that we can talk about, you know, being able to play games together, like it just opens up a completely different world that didn't exist for me previously in dating, you know, when I was married. So you know, again, it has had an effect in who I'm looking for, and ultimately the type of woman that I think, you know, will be for me in the future.
Fire. Fire.
That's real. That's important too.
Hell yeah.
So kind of like piggyback off of what Prez said. Yeah, it's like I think for me, because I'm also single, I kind of use it as a litmus test, low key. I like a partner that's passionate about what they're passionate about and can like nerd out about whatever they want to nerd out. It doesn't have to necessarily be like the traditional nerdy things. Like the last kind of little situationship I was in, like this person was super into pop culture and loved award shows and fashion and stuff like that. And that's something that we really connected on, talking about like funny award show moments and talking about like celebrity gossip and stuff, because I love that too. So that was like something that we really bonded over. And also like I was putting her onto some of the stuff that I was into. And like, you know, there was certain times we were like, you know, I would be posted up at the crib and I'll put on like the Kim Possible movie, and then we did what we did after it. And like, you know what I mean? But it's like a cool little transition. It's like I can put on So Not the Drama and then do what I have to do after. And it's like, you know, and it's like, I think it's like, like I definitely kind of like, I just like people that are passionate and not afraid to be themselves. You know what I mean? And like, and I think as Black nerds, we had to learn that and be comfortable with that. So to find another person that has like a similar kind of situation where they're like comfortable in their skin and able to be 100% themselves, then like I think that's a beautiful thing, and that's what I look for.
Facts. My boy Hendrix is gonna be like, name one character from Static Shock right now. Oh, you can?
All you need, just
that's the one.
I want to point out something Kage said in chat. He said never date someone who likes games or anime or nerdy stuff, to be honest. So, and I think you don't have to. Like, to be honest, you don't have to do that. That shouldn't be a requirement. The requirement should be they respect how much you love it or how much you nerd out about certain things. I think that at minimum should be it. Like, you know, don't like, I think ID said, like, you know, don't force it down their throat. Don't try to make them like it. Right. Like, I learned that, you know, the hard way. Me and Keisha would get into some spats about it, but the most important thing is to just respect it. And same with them. It's two-way street. You know, you respect what they nerd out about. They respect what you nerd out about. If it bleeds in a little bit, cool. If it doesn't, as long as they give you your space to be you, that's fine. Also, W Raid, never doubt. Thank you so much for the raid. We appreciate that, brother. And the follow-up to that question: who was your first fictional crush?
Oh, damn.
First. Jessica Rabbit.
Oh.
That's a good one. I'm going to put the air horns for that
one. They had me wanting to play patty cake real quick. Like, I definitely watched that movie a few times. Yeah, that was for sure my first one.
She was the one.
I would say.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I was about to say. I think because I got a thing for tomboys, it's definitely because of Alex Mack. Secret World of Alex Mack. I think it's because of her. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's it. I actually have videos on my page talking about like fictional characters that you know, it's whatever. You can watch them, but yeah, I definitely have a type, and it's definitely a direct result of the shows I watched growing up, for sure.
I would definitely say Bulma, bro, from Dragon Ball.
That's a W answer. That's a W answer,
bro. Every time I saw it on the screen, I was like, oh. But she got with
Bulma's
Vegeta,
backstory
bro.
was crazy.
She got with Vegeta, and I was done, bro. It was right, bro.
It's like, oh well, tried.
W Bulma, bro. W Bulma for sure.
W Boomer for real.
For me, it had to come from in which, you know, this was my first Final Fantasy game, so it holds a special place. I know it's not one of the best Final Fantasy games, but Final Fantasy VIII, the love interest in that game was probably my first, and that's only because I was actually dating at the time, and I named her after the person that I was dating. So I just felt like they connected on that level.
Look at you.
I love that. For sure.
You look at Blue in chat. Pack them up.
I'll leave right now.
It's funny because, like, you know, I had a few that I looked at and I was just like, it made me, you know, think like, oh, they kind of who is that? Like, you know, of course, like Laura Croft, like, obviously. But I think the first one that I really like was rushing over, and I was just like, damn, wait a minute, like, was just really just into was Lulu from Final Fantasy X. And I think most of us know why, but like, that opened up the gate for like goth girls as well, because I was just like, she got all these belts on, but I mean, hold on,
goth girls go crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, that opened up a whole world to me. I was just like, hold on, wait a minute.
Shout out Shawty from Danny Phantom. Sam, is that her name?
Shago.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you talk about Sam.
Shigo too.
Yeah.
Shigo though.
Yeah.
Shigo was OD. Shigo's. And can we talk about Tifa? Y'all talking about Final Fantasy? Ain't nobody said Tifa, bro.
Tifa was like an obvious one.
Well, baddie thing, and she had hands.
Right, easy.
Okay, I mean, listen, if we gonna talk Final Fantasy, we gotta talk Fran from Final Fantasy 12.
Oh, absolutely. She was next. She was right after Lulu. She had some melanin. I was like, hold on, who's this? Like, she had a little tan or whatever it was. I was like okay. Okay, let me see. I pretty much asked this already, so that question's gone. Okay, here's a good one. Talk about a moment where you felt so nerdy, like it's embarrassingly just funny to talk about. Like you were so nerdy, it hurt a little bit, but it, like, looking back on it, it's like, damn, that's pretty funny. Like, just like you ever just fully geeked out about something, for example, like, and just, you know, it was like, can you just do that? It made you cringe a little bit after you were done.
No, I have one immediately. Bringing back that Supreme jacket, I was at a Fashion Week party last year, and I was in the club, and someone recognized my jacket, and they're like, "Oh man, Aeon Flux is so dope." And I was like, oh, "You know about Aeon Flux?" And I just started off rattling so many facts about that show and everything, and I could tell, like, after like the first, "Oh, you know what this is?" they completely checked out, and I just kept on going in the background. Like, you need to stop talking right now, because these two dudes do not give a fuck what you're talking about. They're probably off of something, and they don't care. They just wanted to say cool jacket, and I just kept on going, and I was just like, yeah, all right, cool, and I just kind of dipped out. And I was like, yeah, but I mean, I still look fly though. But I was just like, damn, you kind of went off the rails with that one, brother.
I feel that. Mine's for me, like, going overboard nerdy would probably be like one of my first TikTok videos that I did, because it was like, just, I say this all the time, like, when I make a TikTok video, like the ones that I do now, I literally feel like it's just young me taking over and he's recording, you know what I'm saying? So I remember, like, now when I make my TikTok videos, I make a lot of like video game references, anime references. So I'm over here screaming, like, someone does an uppercut, I'm like, Soryuken! You know, I'm going crazy. So I remember the first time I did that and I uploaded it, I looked at the video and I was just like, ew. But I let it sit on there.
Sometimes you just gotta let it rock.
Yeah, like, it literally just came out of me, and I was just like, oh my God. And then I let it rock, and that video ended up doing a million views. So I was like,
hey, so you were on to something.
All right. So I kept it going. But yeah, the first time I did that, I almost threw up.
God damn. These wow, I did not expect such great moments from.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
We got you going. Perez, you got one?
Man, I'm trying to, because okay, so the reality for me is like, up and until I found a comfort in being nerdy, most of my nerdiness was kind of in reclusion, right? Like I didn't really do a lot around people. But I was sitting here thinking, like, so when I was in high school, right, from 2001 to 2005, if you recall those time frames, there used to be like this phase where there was these shirts. They were like kind of like silk shirts, but they had like Japanese characters and anime characters and all that shit. And the way
we gotta bring those back. Those are so.
There was like a year and a half where I rocked those shirts religiously, and I think back on that time, and I'm like, "Yo, bro, what was you doing? What was you doing?"
Nah, but then now you got brands like Hyper and bringing those brands back.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know what I
That's
mean?
cool, but like 10, 20 years ago, I was like, "What are you doing, bro?"
We gotta bring those brands back.
Yeah, that was my moment where I was just completely nerding out, didn't care. Like,
I didn't even think about
this is
that.
me.
04 was different.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Probably for me, and this wasn't necessarily like publicly, but like any Undertaker return ever, I'm losing my shit. I don't care what has gone on, how long it's been. Like when I hear that first gong, I'm losing. I'm done. Like I got a chance to experience that live. Actually, I went to a Survivor Series where I thought it would be Undertaker's last appearance. It was in Atlanta, and there was a bomb threat and everything, and I did not care. You're just gonna have to blow me up after the Undertaker comes out.
It'd be like that.
Yeah, I needed that, and bro, like the first time hearing that gong live, I probably had to change my underwear. I'm not gonna lie. It was amazing. Like I got my whole life in front of everybody. But that, and then probably more recently, I'd say Edge's return. Like I wasn't just the biggest Edge fan at all, but seeing Edge be able to overcome, his injuries and, make an appearance at the 2020 Royal Rumble, like him coming out and just the expression on his face and knowing how much it meant to him, like that was a big moment for me. Like to this day, I can't watch that without getting goosebumps. And I'm not even like the biggest Edge guy, but just knowing how important it was to him to be able to return on, such a grand stage like that was amazing.
That's fucking lit. I love, man. Just see it.
Blow me up afterwards. That's commitment.
Just let it come out first.
Right.
It's like if this is how I die, I'm cool with it. That's what being a nerd is. Really, it's just like, all right, well, shit.
Yeah.
All right, mine is real simple. I tried to go Super Saiyan in middle school.
Nah, you was the kid in the video.
So low key, yes, but in the schoolyard in 7th grade, like me and two of my other friends, we were just trying to just go Super Saiyan. We were just yelling. Teacher came over and was like, "Are y'all okay?" And like people were looking at us laughing. It was it was bad. We were really just like into it. Like
try to go Super Saiyan at least once in your life, you're not real, bro.
Yeah, facts. 100.
That's facts. But I should have kept it at home.
You used to psych yourself out too. Like used to be like, "Yo, did my hair just change?" Yo,
that's what we did. That's what we did. Like one of my friends was like, "Did my hair change?" He was like, "Yeah, you got a little patch here. Like you got a little patch here." I was like, "It was what the fuck." It was something else. 7th grade was a weird time for me.
Most.
Oh shit.
That's what hilarious.
Yo, those were great stories. Jesus Christ. I thought that question, I was like, this question's gonna be a little weird, but like, nah, y'all killed it. Y'all killed that question. All right, this was gonna be a little bit of a fun one. If you could pick any one like role or job from an RPG or JRPG, what would it be and why? Like, I can go first if y'all want. I mean, obviously, I would just pick Ninja because ninjas are fucking cool as shit. Ninja or Samurai, just because I'm a weeb through and through. So, I played Samurai in Final Fantasy 14. So I mean, if there's any game where I can have a katana or anything, I'm picking it. It is what it is.
Yeah. Trying to think.
I don't play a lot of RPGs or JRPGs, but if there's ones that got blickies, then I'll be that guy.
we consider Ghost of Tsushima a JRPG, right? Or what do we consider that? What do we consider that? I'm not big on RPGs like that either. I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter and a action type dude.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely go samurai. I feel like that's the easiest route for me too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really trying to take somebody's dome off.
I mean, honestly, facts.
You
Any
know
character that's a crash dummy, I'm usually that character. I just
exactly.
I love like brute forcing my way through video games. So that's my style.
I always thought it'd be sick to slice through somebody real quick, and by the time you sheath your sword, you're like
exactly.
Oh man,
whoever that character is, let me be them.
Mm-hmm. The POV, they like look at you, and then everything gets split, and you're like, oh,
yeah. That's
Bro,
why
cut in half.
Exactly.
It's too easy.
I was gonna answer, but Spartan, you want to acknowledge your raid real quick? I want to give space for that. I saw somebody.
Oh, got raid. Iceman Prime, thank you so much for the raid. We really appreciate you for the raid. Hope you're having a great day. He actually checked in with me on Discord earlier. Was like, "What's going on today?" I was just like, "This." So I'm glad he stopped by, brought his community with him. So big shout out to Iceman Prime. Make sure y'all go check him out.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Yeah, W raid. Welcome in. I think for me, if I was just to pick any like role or class or anything from any RPG, it would probably be the time mage from Final Fantasy Tactics, because I just feel like anybody who has control over time is just OP in general. Like if shit don't go right, let's rewind that back. Let's try that again. All right. So that seems like a pretty solid class for me, honestly.
Damn, I forgot all about that class. I saw a video on it recently, and I was just like, there was a time. Wow, they should bring that back for 14. I'd probably switch.
Like I love like ninja like classes as well, or any class that like has some type of either a magic or some type of control of an element or two. Like I enjoy that. But if there's ever like a grappler role where obviously use like popular wrestling moves, like you may see a spine buster or a German suplex or something like that, yeah, sign me up for that.
Yo, spine busting the dragon sounds incredible. Someone needs to get on that right now. Make that game. I will play it.
That is different.
Play it.
I mean,
I'll buy the collector's edition.
Final Fantasy 6, you can always suplex a train. I mean,
what?
I remember.
That's
I remember Fantasy 6.
I haven't.
The train is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't just go play the game. Just go play.
Hey, Les.
Yo, that's crazy. There are like melee classes and stuff, but
yeah.
No, go ahead.
Y'all getting that new Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 16.
Yeah, that looks like some heat.
Unquestioned.
Without a doubt. Like
I'm not a big like turn-based type of guy, but when it's like on some Kingdom Hearts type gameplay to where you can just go through your
action RPG.
Yeah, that's my that's my thing for sure.
Yeah, which is pretty much you can pretty much expect Final Fantasy to be that going forward. Like once we saw the direction it was going in, especially when they committed to that on the remake of Final Fantasy 7, I was like, yeah, this is the future of Final Fantasy. And I mean, I'm here for it.
100.
It's nice. Like I'm not mad at it because that's how 11 was. 11, like the turn-based stuff was gone. Like you were moving around and just attacking, like just on a set interval, using abilities on the go. I was like, this is different, but I like it. I played 11 for maybe like 6 years or something like that. Like, so I'm here for that. Now with stuff like Elden Ring, it's like, well, shit, they're doing it right. Like, this is great. All right, the next one is it's a little deep, but I want you to name one of the times like you saw yourself, a black male in a space you nerd over, like a game, a show, an anime. Like the first time like you saw a character was just like, yo, that's me. Like that's me in the show or in the game or in the whatever.
I mean, I already talked about mine earlier, but like watching Static Shock, that was like the first time I saw myself in a character and I really connected to a show. I just thought he was so cool. And it's so funny. I mean, I feel like I don't know if anybody's ever like has rewatched it as an adult, but I think it's one of those shows that's super important to like rewatch or even show like your younger homies or your children, because it has a lot of really good life lessons still, and I think it still holds up. Maybe some aspects a little corny. I started noticing that the music in the background, which is like mostly rap music, will describe the fight that's happening. So if he's like fighting like a fighter character or like trying to figure something out, it's like gotta figure it out, and it's like that's so crazy. It's still dope. So yeah, I would definitely say Static Shock was like the first character that I watched, and I was like, this is me on the TV screen. This is amazing. Like I'm locked in forever when it comes to this character.
I think the first time I watched the first Matrix movie, Tank, the guy who's responsible for, essentially, having all the programs and uploading the programs to people's brains. And, he was the one that was interpreting the Matrix. Like, that was me. That was like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's me. I'm behind the computer. I'm trying to figure shit out. And he's black. It's like, it was a clear cut. I was like, yeah, that's me for sure. I was trying to think, were there any other like characters, especially in anime? But for sure, I think Tank in the Matrix was like my first like I identify with this character moment for sure.
That's a dope one. That's really dope.
That's tough. I love that answer.
That's fire. Mine's basic. I keep going back to it, bro. Naruto, bro. Naruto. Like, what made me fall in love with him was like he was like me, like loud as hell. Like even when you introduced me, the first thing Spartan said was the loudest guy on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? And Naruto was that. Naruto was always yelling. He was obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was like, "Shut the hell up." And that's me, you know what I'm saying, in a nutshell. So that's kind of why I resonated with him so hard. Although my favorite character is Sasuke, I feel like Sasuke is more of like my serious side. So I always love them too, for sure. But yeah, Naruto is definitely the ID side of me, 100%.
So for me, I would say the first time I felt like I just like resonated with the character would be during the Cell saga for Gohan, when of course Goku was dead and he needed that little extra push from his dad to finish Cell. Like that was definitely me, because my dad and we didn't always have a great relationship, because I always felt like he was a little hard on me, but we have like a great relationship now. So being able to go back and watch that from time to time kind of reminds me of where my relationship with my dad is now, in comparison to what it was before. And just knowing that, if there was anything I needed, I could call him and get that extra push that I needed to, get that final move out. So I'd say that for me.
I love how you said, of course, Goku was there. Like, one thing he good for.
Yeah, he gonna die.
Being there.
He ain't gonna do nothing else.
He gonna die.
Yo, this is gonna sound crazy, but for me, it was Knuckles in Sonic 3, because when that game started and that music came in and he took the things and ran, I was just like, hold on, who is that? Like, he cool as shit.
A lot of Sonic too.
And then Sonic and Knuckles came out. I was just like, I resonate with Knuckles. I don't know why I did at the time, but I was just like, Sonic was everything to me up until that moment. I was just like, wait.
Yeah.
Something about this guy in red. Plus, red was my favorite color. And then, of course, it was just like, of course, Knuckles is black. I never thought he wasn't from day one. So it's just like,
oh yeah, nah, Knuckles is definitely black.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So he was the first character I saw, and I was just like, it'd be me in the game, honestly, shit.
you know what's crazy? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Shadow might be a little blacker though, because he got his whole whole
own no, Shadow's from the trenches.
Oh, he got the blicky. Yeah.
Shadow's from Detroit for sure.
Shadow was teenage me, just angry, confused. Like that was Shadow was teenage me for sure. Like young, like 12-year-old me, absolutely, like without a doubt.
So,
you got any other characters y'all want to just honorable mention? Sorry, Prez.
No. I guess while people are maybe thinking about that, the crazy thing about the Knuckles theme, right? You were talking about when that music comes in. If not for the fact that they had to split up development of that game, what Sonic and Knuckles is really what Sonic 3 was supposed to be as a whole. So because of that, the musics are different because they were able to introduce that additional information. But without it, if we just had the Sonic 3 cartridge, we'd have never gotten that cool ass theme. I prefer the theme when it's just Sonic and 3, because when you add Sonic and Knuckles, it adds like a bunch of melodies to it, and it's like it's cool, but that ain't Knuckles. You know what I'm saying? We know Knuckles. Knuckles almost sound like the grinding beat from the Clips.
Yeah.
Like
different. I was like,
yo, that's tough.
Yeah. So it's just a cool moment in history. Like we'd have never got that without that split.
Mm-hmm. Y'all got any other honorable mentions? Because I could also say like Barrett from Final Fantasy VII. Like that was like the first, like as far as I can remember, that was the first time I saw a black man that looked black in a game, and I was like, huh? And he had a gun. He had a gun on his arm, and I was just like, this is cool as fuck. Hold on.
Damn, now that you say
country
it,
ass dialect.
Right. I was just like, damn, that could be my uncle or something. Like,
now that I think about it, I would say Riley Freeman from the Boondocks. Riley was definitely Riley was definitely me. I would like to think that I'm Huey, but I'm definitely Riley for sure.
Hell
for
yeah.
sure.
Blue said Piccolo. Piccolo's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Piccolo was
We can
definitely
talk.
a good one.
Just absolutely yes.
Yo, Riley's definitely
Yeah.
He's be like, nigga, that's gay. Like, damn.
He was just so unapologetically himself and didn't give a fuck, and I love that. I thought that was so funny and so cool. Even reading like I don't know if you guys read like the old like newspaper comics of the Boondocks. Like even that version of him was just so funny and just like super relatable. So yeah, I would definitely say Riley is an honorable mention for sure.
No, Riley's definitely that's a really good one actually. Aren't they supposed to bring that show back, or are they not doing it? Because
they've been saying that for years.
Yeah, man.
I heard about it.
I wanted to. I think JD Witherspoon, who's the son of Pops, like he definitely tried and probably would be the best person to take over that role or have a character similar to Pops. But you know, I think it's in development hell.
Man, for sure.
For sure.
Big RIP.
All right, y'all got any more? Or?
I think what Jelani's saying, my man Riley, bro, I think that summed it up. I think that summed it up.
In the coffin.
Yeah.
You're right. The next question is kind of similar. Who do you think is the best black character in anime?
The best black character in anime?
All anime.
Ooh. Damn.
I got to think about this one too because I'm like, damn. I didn't think of the answer for this one.
I'm not a big anime guy, so I might have to
Mr. E trying to turn me on. I know what he's doing. He's trying to turn me on. He's trying to turn me on, bro.
I mean, top of mine, I want to say Afro Samurai.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I remember when that anime first came out, he was just so fucking cool, dude. Yeah, and it was such a great anime. I even stole that DVD from the library I was doing community service at. So I was able to watch it as many times as I want. But yeah, Afro Samurai for me at least is probably the best black anime character. Definitely the one I watch the most for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, real quick. On bumpers and chat, you got to time yourself out for like 5 minutes. You said Mr. Papa.
Yo, high tea.
I co-sign that.
That's a tech.
ID, that's your boy.
That's nuts.
ID, that's your people.
Nah. Just don't try to ditch him now, bro.
I heard that was your boy.
I don't know him, bro. He just here. He just here for real. Killer B too. Killer B was black as hell.
Mm-hmm.
He was. I just wish he could rap a little better.
Yeah, facts. His rapping was a little cringy, but when he pulled out them swords, he went dumb.
He 1v4, 1v5, the whole Taka, like just by himself. Like,
yeah. I know we were talking about Afro Samurai. I don't know if you guys ever watched there was a show that came out on Netflix called Yasuke. It was
Yasuke, yeah.
Similar. Yeah, it's kind of similar to that. Yeah, he was a black samurai too. That was a pretty good show. A lot of people didn't mess with it, but I thought it was pretty dope.
I love the soundtrack to that.
Yeah, the soundtrack to that was amazing.
I listen to it all the time. Shout out Flying Lotus.
Flying Lotus smoked that. When I heard that intro, I was hooked.
Mm-hmm.
That intro was hard.
I said Aokiji from One Piece. That's what I was gonna say. Cause pun intended, he cold as fuck. Like he just like. It's hard to touch the man. And I was just like, yo, he rode a bike across the ocean on ice. Yep. What? It came through, shut everything down, and was like, I gotta go.
Yeah. Yoruichi, she was cold too. Yoruichi was hard.
Pickle was good too. Colder, Perez, y'all got one just in particular?
Definitely Piccolo. If we count Piccolo,
Listen,
Oh, of course, yeah.
I didn't want to I didn't want to be
Black
cliche and just keep going back to it because, like I said, I fully admit like anime is probably like the least of my nerddom. Not that I have a problem with anime, it's just I've not watched a lot of it. But yeah, Piccolo for sure. we all agree Piccolo's black, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay, same question, but gaming. Best black character in gaming. Or favorite. Favorite's probably better because we don't have to our skill here. We don't do that.
I'm gonna have to defer to y'all because I'm not as big of a gamer as everybody else is here, so I can't think of one off the top of mine.
I'm trying. There's a good amount.
Yo, Mr. E, I about want to time you out too for Eddie Gordo. Not like
cheese personified.
The way I hate that.
Bro, Eddie Gordo, like, yo, if you picked Eddie Gordo in Tekken, I just looked at you like, bro, you're a bozo, bro. Because nobody knew real
I was a bozo.
This man do a 50-hit combo.
Is King from Tekken black? Is that a good answer?
Yeah, King is definitely black.
Okay, I'll say that.
We claiming him.
We're gonna claim him right here, right now.
Yeah.
No one else claimed him.
And bro, that did what's it called? Capoeira and Virtua Fighter. I think there's a character that does capoeira in Virtua Fighter. So I'll say both of them.
I feel like Pres would know.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, capoeira and Virtua Fighter. I don't know. Give me time to think about it.
I would.
For me, I'd say probably Dudley from Street Fighter 3. Yeah, like Mans was not only swagged out, he pulled up in the bin. I call it the bins, whatever car it was. He pull up in the bins, he smack you with a rose, then he beat you with the boxing gloves. Like
he was classy with
it. He was super classy, but also like one of the strongest characters in that game. So
a gentleman and a scholar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay in the Street Fighter run with President and go Dudley. Dudley to me was really gangster in that game. He was Jamaican, he was swagged out, he was vibing with the music, and he beat your ass at the same time. So I definitely say Dudley was that guy, bro. He was cold as hell.
Oh wait, Jamaican? You talking about DJ?
You mean DJ?
What'd I say, Dudley?
You said Dudley,
yeah.
Oh yeah, DJ. My bad.
You mean DJ? Yeah. DJ in 6.
I got you.
He went back to his roots. In 6,
DJ in 6. DJ looking gully in 6, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
He swagged out. I'm like, okay, he found his roots. He found his Bumbleclaw roots. You know shit.
That's amazing for real.
You know what? Y'all can thank Street Fighter 2 or Super Street Fighter 2 players for that, because DJ really wasn't he wasn't a super popular character in 4, but people who main DJ in 2 were determined to make him good in 4. And he ended up being like, he wasn't a top tier character, but if you play, like if somebody picked DJ, you knew, okay, they know what the fuck they doing.
Yeah.
Like, there's gonna be a problem. So they were like, all right, we're gonna bring him back. And they did him really, Street Fighter 6 is just low key. It might be the best Street Fighter ever when it 100%. Comes out. Like, it's so good. It's so good.
I played it at TwitchCon. I don't even play traditional fighting games like that, but I was like, this feels really good to play. Like, I really like this. It might be the first one I buy in years. Like, honestly,
that game feels amazing for sure. But yeah, DJ is definitely that guy. DJ was definitely that guy, man.
For sure.
Belrock was annoying as hell.
Yeah. Somebody hold that button down the entire round and kill you with one punch.
Oh my god, bro! Please.
Yeah.
Cole, you got one?
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna stay in the streets, but I'm gonna go Streets of Rage 2 and pick up my boy Skate, because that boy Skate changed the game. That boy Skate changed the game, man.
Skate was hard.
So if you gonna do that, we got to give honorable mention to Adam, because if you play Streets of Rage 4, not only did they bring Adam back, but my god, fam had the combos of 4.
OD. Streets of Rage is like one of the best soundtracks to a video game I've ever heard, bro.
Oh yeah, easy money for sure.
Yeah.
So good.
OC goes crazy.
For me in gaming, it's Sarge from Sergeant Johnson from Halo. Just every time he was on screen, I was laughing my ass off every single time. I mean, most of my alerts are him just saying something. Like, honestly, truly. Like, shout out to Dre because he helped me find that website where I can get all the like clear, crisp sound clips of him saying shit. Now my alerts completely revamp my alerts. So my raid message, like most of my follow alerts, everything. So Sarge, like, and when he hit when you play the demo at the end, he gives a whole spiel about buying the game. He was always breaking the fourth wall. Just great character in my opinion. Wasn't even the main character for real. So when he died in the game, spoiler, like, my heart was hurt. It felt like my uncle passed away. I was like, I miss my Uncle Charles. Damn.
I feel that.
But yeah, absolutely. You know, just to kind of stick in the realm of like characters. Name two of your heroes. One, a black person from anywhere, like family member, historical figure, movie star, whoever you want it to be. And then one nerdy from any form of fiction. They don't have to be black. We can go over the question if you need again, as much as y'all want, but take some time with this one if you want. IRL for me, I can start if y'all want to keep thinking.
Yeah.
For me, and I said this at another roundtable, one of mine is definitely my older cousin Sai, he's one of my groomsmen. He was my mentor growing up. He was the first person besides my brother to play a game with me. Like, he was kind of like our benchmark as far as like how good we had to get at a certain game and stuff like that. I'm actually having dinner with him later. I told y'all earlier. But he really just kind of set the tone for me as far as like what a black man should be. We didn't take the exact same path, you know, like I stuck with the nerdy shit and he kind of went off on his own thing. But to this day, like, he's still one of my heroes, like, to this day, especially for, you know, I didn't have my dad around like that. So he was the best positive male influence I had in real life, as far as looking up to. And then as far as fictional, Sonic the Hedgehog, because he just, that never give up attitude has stuck with me since I was 3. Like, just, you know, don't ever give up on anything. Don't quit. You know, there's always a way. You know, you can be witty about it along the way, stuff like that. Just everything about Sonic has always just encompassed, like, part of who I am. So, like, Sonic and my cousin Sai are, like, my 2 biggest heroes, I would say. Honorable mention Master Chief. Just quiet beast, you know, quiet storm.
Yeah. I feel that. I'll go next, and I'll go ahead and say my older brother. A lot of people don't know that I have an older brother, but yeah, he was definitely an iconic figure in my life because well, like you said earlier, we went down 2 different paths, but he always wanted to make sure, I don't know how he knew, but he kind of like knew I was a nerd before I knew I was a nerd. You know what I mean? So like, I would always, you know, him being my older brother, I would always try to do the same things he did and follow him everywhere he went. But like I said, he went down a different path and he was like, no, this isn't you. This isn't for you. You know what I mean? So he kind of helped me understand who I was becoming and kept me in that realm. So I definitely have a lot of thanks to give him when it comes to that. And he still gives me a lot of amazing advice almost daily, you know, so that's definitely my IRL hero when it comes to that. If I had to keep it fictional, Spider-Man, easily. Spider-Man is that's my favorite superhero, professional shit talker. Even when he's getting beat up, he's still talking shit, making jokes, and he ends up prevailing. The most amazing thing that I admire about Spider-Man is that, you know, he's always holding back. Even when he's fighting his villains, he's always holding back.
Because he could easily kill anybody with one punch if he really wanted to.
Easily,
1000%.
Yeah, there's a series where Dr. Octopus takes over and controls Spider-Man, and he finds out. He gets into his first fight in Spider-Man's body and he punches somebody and he completely shatters their jaw. And that's when he realized, like, yo, he could have killed us a long time ago.
That's Superior Spider-Man, right?
Yeah,
Superior Spider-Man. That's one of my favorite moments in comics. Like, just when he found that out, I was just like, it opened up a whole realization. Like,
exactly. So yeah, Spider-Man is definitely my fictional character for sure.
I guess I'll go next. My IRL is probably my dad, because he's always been, you know, such a hard worker. Because my mom ended up getting laid off like when I was super young, so he started doing, you know, everything he could. He didn't really want her to, you know, have to work or go back to work or anything, because that just being in that environment for her was like real bad. So, you know, he just put the family on his back and just made sure that, you know, we didn't have everything we wanted, but you know, we wasn't hungry. You know, we ain't had to worry about the lights not being on and stuff like that. So he's definitely got to be my IRL because I try to do, you know, the same thing with my family. Just make sure we good. But fictional, I'm gonna stay on brand here, like I always say. But I'm gonna go Kofi Kingston with Kofi Mania because seeing Kofi being a part of the business for as long as he was and not really get the, you know, respect that he deserved from all the time that he had put in, seeing him finally get his moment, also to include his kids in his moment as well, with winning the WWE Championship and being on that very short list of Black people who held that title. And that was just a dope, super dope moment for me.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Kofi's so dope.
Facts.
Yeah,
Like he's what I always wanted to see in wrestling. So when it finally happened, I was just like, this is great. He was the first like Black wrestler that I was like could really, really just relate to. And I was just like, I like this guy. Like him a lot.
Yeah.
For me, I think my IRL hero would definitely be my grandfather, rest in peace. He and my grandmother raised me, and you know, I always think back as an adult, like when I was a kid, it definitely didn't feel like I was living in poverty. I can look back and definitely like we was poor as shit, right? But you know, he did like Cole said, he did everything he could to make sure we didn't feel that way. You know, even if we was, you know, eating, you know, something that you think back was like, damn, we was eating some crazy shit, but he at least made sure we had food, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On the table, you know, yeah. Souse me.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you spitting. You know what I'm saying? So you know what that instilled in me was, you know, work ethic. It was like, you know, no matter how I gotta do it. You know, so I gotta make it happen for my daughter. And you know, not to like get too deep, but there was a time where it was like, you know, mentally shit was going on in my life. And I was like, I ain't know, you know, if I could, you know, proceed forward. And I started to remember like, A, I got my daughter here, and B, and I remember like how my grandfather put his foot forward no matter what to make sure he, you know, we had it. And I'm like, I got to do that for her, like no matter what. So that stuck with me, you know, even in his death. Fictionally, I gotta circle back, probably to Piccolo. A, because you know the redemptive arc, which I guess isn't unique to him in Dragon Ball. There's a lot of, you know, redemption arcs going from evil to good, but also, you know, Piccolo taking the responsibility of raising Gohan, being the best father in all time. But no, dead ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, taking him under his wing and, you know, just making sure that he was prepared for what was coming forward. Like, you know, that was something that I myself did in adulthood. So, definitely Piccolo.
I mean, I guess I'll say for me, my older cousin Jordan, he was the one that put me onto a lot of stuff growing up. Like, I mean, like the reason why I love anime and comic books, the reason why I love sneakers and stuff like that, like made sure that my opinion on things was just a little bit like different from everybody else's, like the mainstream. Like he was definitely the one that kind of like put me onto a lot of stuff growing up. And I always look up to him for everything, honestly. Like we still like have a really close relationship to this day, and he actually doesn't live that far from me. I just realized a couple of months ago he moved from New York out here. I'm in Jersey, but like, yeah, I would definitely say him because he was the one that he was like one of the first people that like really allowed me to be nerdy, and then I think I passed that down onto my little brother and my little cousins, and like I allowed them to be nerdy and be themselves and support them when it comes to whatever they want to pursue. So for Ira, I would definitely say my cousin Jojo, and then I mean, I might sound like ID when it comes to this, but I would say Naruto. Like Naruto was one of the first animes I truly fell in love with. Like DBZ was out when I was younger, but like I just knew that anime was cool, and I was like, these people are fighting each other, and that's awesome. But Naruto was definitely like the first anime that I actually like sat down and watched and like got emotionally invested in. And like Naruto, like you guys know the story, like from the trenches didn't get handed shit, and he just kept on persevering and kept like a really positive attitude about everything, despite being outcasted and hated on and shitted on and all this extra stuff. And I always loved that about that character, and I kind of like internalize that type of attitude towards myself. Like shit can get bad, but it's not the worst. And I got good people around me that care about me. So I'm gonna just keep on persevering, you know what I mean, and work towards the goal that I always wanted, whether it's becoming an Hokage or whatever I want to do. You know what I mean? Like I think that's like a lesson that really resonated with me, like at the right time in my life.
Amen.
You know, I just gotta say, in regards to Naruto, like, I don't like the people who try to discredit his journey and his struggles, because it turns out he was, you know, the fourth Hokage's son, and he has, you know, the strongest tailed beast inside of him and stuff like that. I don't think that should take away from like the lessons that he taught people, like as a kid, and like what he went. He still went through a lot of emotional trauma, and he could have been.
I went to that, I would have been a villain, dog. I would have killed that whole village.
That could have been him.
Oh, word.
They lucky Sasuke was the, you know, the one that went bad. Like, because if it was Naruto, they would have been done. They would have been done for. Imagine Naruto and the Akatsuki.
Jesus.
Son.
It's all bad for the entire planet.
So the fact that you already know that it could have been a real demon arc from him, and he still was like, nah, I'm gonna help my people and be like the best friend I can for so many others, and spark inspiration in other people. I'm just like that's my whole shit now.
Yeah.
All right, as a follow-up to this question, for your fictional hero, if you could tell them anything, what would you tell them? If it's thank you, why are you thanking them, basically? Because I feel like we're all going to say thank
you.
Yeah. I guess I'll go first with this one. You know, just for Kofi's story specifically, like showing like people like me, people like my son, that, you know, we can look like this and still be at the top. It's just amazing to me. You know, I hate that it took so long for him to get those flowers, but the fact that he never gave up and he kept pushing and, you know, had a great run. You know, many people may feel differently about his run. I think his run was great. I hate how it ended, but I think the run itself is great, and the moment that he created for so many, you know, black men, black boys, showing us that, you know, we can, like, just simple as that was great.
With that, I would definitely like I already mentioned it earlier because I relate to him the most, but I would definitely, you know, say thank you to Naruto, because like Jelani was just saying, I mean, he had so many lessons, you know what I mean? So many life lessons in his story and his journey, and, you know, just overcoming so many obstacles, going up against people who were considered to be geniuses and leaving them slump on the floor and giving them this speech that just completely opened up their eyes and made them see things in a different light. You know, I would definitely, because I applied all that stuff he said into real life, you know what I mean? And that was my guy. That was my guy for sure. So I would definitely say thank you to Naruto and be like, bro, you got any more advice, bro? You know, just sit down and listen, seriously. But yeah, I would definitely say thank you to Naruto for sure.
Yeah, I mean, same, like, you know, I guess the joke gets passed around a lot about, like, you know, Piccolo being Gohan's dad or whatnot, but it really does lay a platform. Like, there are times where you know, a kid is on this planet and they need guidance, they need a leader, they need someone, you know, to be that father figure when the father is not present. And, you know, my stepson, you know, from literally he's in the other room right now, right? So like I think back on it, and it's like that does provide a platform for me to understand, like, your impact is greater sometimes than you realize. Even if, you know, you didn't necessarily create that child, you can have a significant impact in someone's life. And so, you know, I'm grateful for the fact that, you know, he still considers me his father, and I still, you know, give him everything I can to make sure he has a good life, especially him, you know, being special needs. It's, you know, it's a huge undertaking, but it's worth it.
Yeah, man. I guess I would say thank you, and like next round of ramen is on me to Naruto, because yeah, man. It's just like he taught me how to persevere in really shitty situations. You know what I mean? Like when I was younger, I was just so angry and emotional over so many different circumstances. You know what I mean? Like being like the token black kid in so many situations is so whack a lot of times. You know what I mean? And I've been that kid for for a long time until I started getting older and really like curating the amount of people that I want around me to have a more diverse experience. You know what I mean? Like when I was younger, I didn't have that option. So for someone like Naruto to just have such a positive attitude, even though he was dealt such a shitty hand, you know, meant a lot. So I would definitely thank him for that for sure.
I appreciate all of y'all answers. I've really felt every single one. And, you know, for me, like, I would have to tell, like, just Sonic and Master Chief at the same time, like, you know, just thank you for never, just showing me how to never give up. Because there are a lot of times where I could have given up on a lot of different things. I could have gave up on college. I could have gave up on, you know, pursuing things that I really wanted. But just remembering how, like, they were against, you know, fictional as it may be, they were against incredible odds time and time and time again. And just always made me think of, like, if they can go through that and there's other people going through worse, you know, I feel like I can get through this, like, no matter what. So I would just thank them for their persistence in achieving whatever their goal was at the time. Like, just, you know, for being that influence on me from the time I barely could even speak English. Like, but I knew never not to give up at 4 or 5 years old, thanks to Sonic. Like, all right, just to get away from the deep stuff for a bit, what is it might get deep. Like, what inspired your screen name? For me, you know, this is gonna be a funny story for some of y'all.
Because it's such a
for me, like, you know, for me, it goes right back to Halo. Like, you know, I read the books. I was a big Halo nerd, like, into the lore and stuff. So I would, did my playlist stop? I think my playlist stopped. It did. Okay, so for me, it was just, you know, I was very inspired by, like, the Spartans in Halo, and, you know, part of me just took that in as part of who I am, just being whatever a Spartan in either a Greek Spartan or Halo Spartan encompasses. That's what I wanted to be on any platform where you see the name LastBlackSpartan. And since there weren't a lot of black ones in canon at the time, especially in that class that we knew about, and they all kind of perished except for Master Chief, I took this kind of lore and made my own lore that, like, I was the last one out in space somewhere floating around, and I found my own planet, started my own civilization that is the community that I'm trying to build. That's kind of where I took the name from. So that's pretty much where it came from.
You said we wasn't gonna get deep.
No. I mean,
but you know, it's.
I know my answer is not going to be deep. It's dumb actually, because it's not from Jimi Hendrix. It's from, so I'm a big fan of Drake. Drake had a song with Bun B years ago, and he called himself Drizzy Hendrix, and I thought that was so dope. And like at the time, you can like change your last name on Facebook all the time. So I had my name as like Jelani Mescudi because I really love Kid Cudi. I had a Jelani Hendrix. I had a whole bunch of different stuff. I had it like as like my middle name. So I really stuck with Jelani Hendrix. But I kind of like built that out because like at the time, like I said, I was trying to make music and have like a different persona than just my regular life. You know what I mean? Wanted to be a rock star and stuff like that. I am a fan of Jimi Hendrix, but Jelani Hendrix is kind of like my rock star entertainment persona that's different from the regular me, Jelani Carter. I don't care if people know my government name. It's on my Twitter, you know what I mean? Because, you know, corporate be following me, so I gotta keep it professional. But, you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted like a differentiating thing from my online life and my entertainment life from like my regular life. So that's why I went with Jelani Hendrix. So yeah, that's my reason. It's not deep at all. It's just I like the bar from Drake and I stole it pretty much.
It's a dope name,
cease and desist.
Very dope name. Like.
From who? Who knows? Is it going to be from Aubrey or from the Jimi Hendrix estate?
Facts.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, I've told this story before. So prior to me becoming a content creator, I used to work for a healthcare company for 10 years. And during a period of that time, I was a manager. And so there was always this kind of running joke. You know, my voice has been a prominent thing, you know, all of my life. Well, not all, most of my life. So whenever it was time for me to like do a meeting with my associates or with other managers, they'd always say, "Oh, here come the president. The president's about to speak. Everybody be quiet," right? That was just kind of this running thing. And so as I was shifting away from that and into content creation, I was like, you know what? kind of like that actually. You know, it's not that bad. So, you know, I kind of, you know, took that, the president, but I was like, I got to make it my own. And noir, for anybody who doesn't know, is the word black, but in French. I don't speak French. I'm not French. I just think it's a really dope name. So I took it. The president noir translates into the black president. And that's how we got here.
That's fire.
I love that. That's so dope.
That's hard. Albert?
Mine is actually rather simple. I am a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, spring 2009. They knew about my love for wrestling, so they decided to name me Kohlberg, because if you know anything about alphas, it's always going to be something cold or something frozen. So I got the name Kohlberg because that in the 9 is just my line number. So real simple. My line name plus my line number is my online persona.
That's still really dope, though.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna add, like, you know, my older cousin, who I said was my hero, he's also alpha. So, you know, I'm very aware. Like, you know.
Mine's is it's super simple. Like, when I was creating my account, I was just like, man, what's like, you know, I was thinking about my content, and I was just like, my mindset was always, you know, whatever I put out is going to be cool and people are going to always appreciate it and they're going to love to see it type thing. So I was like, my content's always going to be dope. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, what's another way of saying that, you know, anything I put out is just going to be fire. So I just thought of the word inevitable. You know what I mean? So I was just like, okay, so put 2 and 2 together. I was like, inevitably dope. But one of my first thoughts when I said inevitably was like, dang, are people going to struggle to, like, you know, type that in and search that up?
I do.
I thought about that for like a solid 2 weeks, bro. I swear to you. Because I'll still come into like a news stream and they'll be like, hi, inevitable. So I laugh at it now. You know, I shortened it to ID and stuff, but like I just came to the conclusion. I was like, people will get hit with it. You know what I mean? So and then now it's like, you know, the Avengers came out and I see Thanos and I hear him say, I am inevitable. And I was like, oh, that's hard. Right. So I'm like, yeah. But that's how I got the name. That's how I got the name.
I think because of this event, I might never spell inevitably wrong again or say it incorrectly ever again, because I've had to type it so much on keyboard, on phone, just everywhere. So shout out to you, you know, helping me get my vocab up to a different level.
Yeah, no, I got you, bro. I got you.
Also, I'll say, no matter whether it's, you know, somebody that knows you or somebody that, you know, maybe they're thinking like, yo, I want to have a certain screen name, but I'm afraid, like, it really don't matter what your screen name is. Somebody's gonna fuck it up, right? I guarantee it. So just go with whatever you want to go with.
Yeah,
I've heard Noir, I've heard Nor, I've heard everything. Like,
people be fucking up my first name all the time, and I was like, I'm gonna let you rock. I'm gonna let you rock. Delaney, Delani, just all of it. I'm just like, yeah, just do your thing. Just do your thing. It's all good. I've heard it all. I heard all of it.
You know, my name already attracts just the wrong type of crowd sometimes, especially on online gaming. Is just like, you know, people always gotta ask, it's like, there were no Black Spartans. I'm just like, all right, bro, cool, great, thanks. Cool, or like, I love when people ask like, well, who was the first Black Spartan? Because I have an immediate answer. It was Sergeant Johnson. Like, he was in, you know, if you want me to get real geeky about it, I can, but that's my usual quick answer for it. But like, do y'all have any, like, you have a favorite nickname for, like, that derives from your screen name? Like, I think Sparks is one of my favorite, like, that people just say for short. Like that's kind of cool.
You said what? Spartan what?
Like, you know, like, what's like a shortened, like, you know, one of the nicknames people have given you in your community that you like the most?
Oh, well, this wasn't on Twitch. This actually recently happened. I thought this was a fire, like, double entendre type shit. So like occasionally with like me doing the anime commentary, there's people on TikTok who kind of try to mimic that and like use like my same like lines and stuff like that. So people will tag me and stuff, and people will tag me and be like, oh, this dude trying to bite. But recently, somebody tagged me and they were like, oh, they're trying to steal Inevitably Dope's ID. And I was like, oh, that was hard, because, you know, I go by ID for short. And they were like, you know, ID as in like, you know, that's your identification. They're like, they're trying to steal IDs, identification. I was like, oh, that was disgusting.
That's a bar, damn.
Yeah, for real, for real.
I was
That's
like,
hard.
damn, that's hard as hell. So I was like, I gotta
Mhm.
do something with that. I don't know what. This just happened too. So yeah, I was fired.
So for me, I don't know yet because there's usually three. Like when people meet me, it's usually one of three nicknames. They either call me Prez, Prezi, or Noir. Right? I pretty much guarantee on all three of those. There's only one person on Twitch that calls me Big Prez, and I think I kind of lean to that sometimes just because it's unique. It's because I don't hear it from anybody else. So it's like okay, Big Prez, but you know, I'm honestly I'm not sure. I kind of I think like, all right, if I was ever to like say make partner on here, right? Sometimes when people make partner, they shorten their name. I was like, what would I shorten my name to if I could? And I haven't landed on what that answer is yet. But honestly, again, Prez, Prezi, Noir, it's all good. Daddy, that works too. No,
Here we go.
Fire.
You said that in the deep Luther Vandross voice too.
Right. Just letting them know. Nah.
I like it.
I guess for me, real simple, when people just say cold, especially if I'm new to a stream and they call me cold, yeah, you the one. But when people go the extra step and they call me the coldest, I'm like, no, it's actually you. But then there's another step that not many people say because they don't understand it, and that's the coldest list. So calling me the coldest list, and I think Glint is like one of the few people that consistently calls me that by name. Like, make sure y'all pull up on the coldest list, because it doesn't make sense, but it kind of stems from two things. But the thing that will probably make the most sense to y'all, just on a blanket level, would be Keith Lee is like my favorite current wrestler.
Oh yeah,
and his thing is being limitless. So if he's limitless, then I'm the coldest list. So and that's pretty much where it comes from.
That's one of my favorite sounds on Twitch. Just like the coldness. That's what. Every time I hear that, I'm just like, "That's my boy. Let's go." I get a little hype. I'll be like, "Okay."
Yeah, I mean, my name is my actual name, so I don't know. Like, people call me Lonnie, which is funny because like a lot of my dad's side of the family calls me that, so I'm not really like super used to it outside of like my fam doing that. But it's like it happens, you know what I mean? I have a lot of friends with J names, so I can't be Jay because I already have one of my best friends is already Jay. I tried to do that when we first met in high school, and it's like there's already like two J's. You're the only Jelani, so like you're just gonna be Jelani. I'm like, all right, bet. ID is one of the few people that just calls me Hendrix, so I think that's like pretty dope. You know what I mean? So I mean, you can call
Hendrix.
me, yeah, like you can just call me any variation of that. You know what I mean? Like it's all cool.
That's pretty dope. Like,
I think it's dope when people can, flex their real name. Like, I have reasons for not revealing my real name like that on Twitch, mostly because I had a stalker when I was on TikTok, and I have to be really cautious about that stuff now. But I like there was this rapper, from a while ago named Obi Trice. I don't know if y'all remember him.
Oh yeah.
Real
name, no gimmicks.
Real name, no gimmicks. Exactly. I always thought that was super dope. So when you said that, it kind of reminded me of that. I was like, yeah, that's fine.
I mean, yeah. I just like, when I was like trying to think of rap names like forever ago, I always had different variations of that. You know what I mean? I had like a whole bunch of different rap names, and it just got to a point I was like, I'm me. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm just always going to be me. And I want people like, I think I had it in my mind, like if I ever get famous, this is some weird villain shit. But I was like, if I ever get famous, I want people that like wronged me in my life to know it's that Jelani. That is like on fire now. That I had like that thought like years ago, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want you to question that shit. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't want you to question that shit. It's me. You don't know a lot of Jelanis out here. It's this Jelani that's flexing on you. So
you try to have that Michael B. Jordan moment at the red carpet. You know what I'm saying?
When I tell you, I watched that clip last night, and that made me so happy. I was like,
so satisfying.
And he's from Jersey too, so there was an even extra layer to that. I was like, yeah, because that's how I would handle it too. I'd be like, yeah, you called me corny. Now I'm the sexiest man alive, and my movie's about to do crazy numbers in the box office. So like, what's good now? And you're a nobody rapper that's interviewing me from some random ass publication. So you know what I mean?
Like, I think it's fair to say that I speak for most blurs out there when I say that was a very satisfying moment for all of us. We all kind of felt a little happy in that moment. Like, one in the chat if you saw that. Like, put a one in the chat if you saw that moment and you felt really good about it.
Yeah, I watched that at least 20 times. You could see it in his face. The second he saw her, he was like, "Oh yeah, the one that called me corny, right? Yeah." Like, I was, oh my god, that was so satisfying, bro. He handled that beautifully.
I think, like I said, Sparts is one of my favorite. It's funny because like Fox is in the chat. I think he was one of the first people to call me Sparts. But like recently, like I'm kind of taking a liking to Spart Dad because for the most part, I'm like a little bit older than a lot of people in our community. So to kind of be like that like dad or that older figure, like it just kind of, I don't know, it just feels right for some reason. Like somebody called me like the cool uncle of the community, and I was just like, kind of fucks with that. Like I could be that. Like I'm not the wildest person, the most rambunctious person, like that we know, but it's like I'm still just just that cool laid back uncle that says some wild shit every now and then. Like,
Right.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy how that lands differently because there was a time where they were trying to call me, like somebody would be like Uncle Prez, and I'm like, I don't like that. Because I feel like the creepy uncle, like
yeah.
Just go back to Prez. We good.
Stick with Prez. We good. All right, we about to start wrapping it up pretty soon. But as a final question, as a nerd, like what was I typing when I did this? I did this when I woke up. My bad. What message do you want to send to like the young budding blurs out there? Like, the kids who were, in kind of in our situation when we were little, like, they might not feel like, they belong anywhere, like the stuff they're into, everybody doesn't really like. I'm not gonna lie, they have it a little easier now thanks to the internet, but 100%. if you could tell them anything, if they're feeling any sort of doubt or, just not sure about themselves, like what would you tell them, or, what type of message you want to give them?
I think what I would say is, right, so you kind of mentioned it's easier because of the internet, but I'd also lay out the message to not be somebody different on the internet than you're willing to be in real life, right? Because at the end of the day, life is lived outside of the corners of the coaxial cables that we connected to, and so eventually who you are and what your personality is going to be shined. You know what I'm saying? So be yourself. Don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't feel like you have to put on something here and not be who you can be, because I think a lot of us maybe felt isolated back in the day because we didn't have these communities that we connect with and find people that were like-minded like us, or not to make it a racial thing, but a lot of times for Black people, who you were connected to didn't necessarily look like you because everybody else that looked like you was afraid to be in that space. And so there are a lot of people that you can connect with and just have a community, but it doesn't require any type of persona. Just be yourself, be unabashedly you. Don't be an asshole, but just be a good person, and good things are gonna happen. Nerddom is here to stay, and we love what we do.
Love that.
Because that's essentially what I would say as well. Be you, no matter what that looks like to other people. Just be you, because if it's people that you're trying to find, your people will find you. Trying to fit yourself in a space that you clearly don't belong. Shout out to I Just Love Puzzles. You won't see her just putting a puzzle piece somewhere where it doesn't go, right? And you're trying to fit yourself into spaces where you just can't be you. Don't do that. Just be you. Be you.
Shout out Puzzles, man.
Right.
I think we're all pretty much gonna say the same thing or similar to it, because it's super important. Is just stay true to who you are. Like I mentioned earlier, one thing I still knock myself for is being in middle school and making fun of the person who had the Naruto jacket, when inside I was like, yo, I want that Naruto jacket. You know what I mean? But I just try to fit into the crowd, and I still look back on that now and I'm like, bro, you were super corny for that. So I think if you try to be somebody you're not, and emulate something that you're not really into, you're gonna knock yourself for it. So it's just best to stay true to who you are, and like you guys said, the people that surround that type of energy that you like will follow you for sure. You're gonna come across them at some point.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. You know what I mean? Like, just be good to people. You know what I mean? Like, I did not take a traditional route getting to where I'm at in life in my career. And I mean, just be good to people, man. Like, put the energy out in the universe that you want to be received. You know what I mean? Like, this is gonna sound wild. Don't let these white people hold you out here. Know what I mean? Like, just don't let them do that. I mean, I find myself getting to a point where I feel like I can put myself in any situation where I don't feel like anybody can little bro me anymore. And that's very important to me because I for a long time I felt like I was everybody's little bro, and I'm not that anymore. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't think I can necessarily take on the role of being the big homie, but you know what I mean? You can't little bro me. You know?
Yeah.
So
can we get an air horn for that, please?
I mean,
Absolutely, I'm spamming.
At this point in time, the most is hidden. But at this point in time, you know, I've worked with a lot of people, been around a lot of different tax brackets when it comes to conversations, and it's just like you can't little bro me no more. But like outside of that, let's just be good to people, man. Just be good to people, and like don't be afraid to be yourself. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a lot of people in your life that are gonna try to put you in a box. Don't allow them to do that at all. You know, and the right people that need to be around you will be around you. I've seen it so many times. You know what I mean? Like the right people will stick around you, and you'll have some real friendships and relationships in your life with the right people. So just be open to everything and don't be an asshole.
I'm glad you took it that direction, because big facts, like just all around. Like the only thing I can possibly add is that don't let anyone or anything change you if you don't want to change. Like don't let anybody define who you are. Only you can do that. Like even if your parents don't like what you do, if there's nothing wrong, you're not hurting nobody with what you're doing, keep doing it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with liking cats or liking anime or liking band or whatever you want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't let nobody tell you there is. Like, I've had plenty of times people like, you play the games too much. You need to get off the games. The games aren't going to get you anywhere. Where am I now? How many job interviews have I had where the conversation steered towards gaming or anime just because they're also in the same thing? Like, Jelani, I already told you this. The nerds are taking over. We're about to run the world. All of us are about to run the world. Like we are everywhere. We're in politics. We already do. We're in politics. We're in movies. We're in positions of power already. It's already happening. So if anything, be a nerd about whatever you want.
Yeah, there's people who like don't know anime at all, but they're trying to get into that world because they know that anime is popular and it's taking over, so they're trying to get into that. You know,
bro,
what I mean?
I had a conversation similar to that like a couple weeks ago, talking to one of my homegirls that work in fashion, and she was like hitting me up and she's like, I know you're super into anime, and we would love to do more collaborations when it comes to stuff like that. Like put us on to different influencers. What's the hottest shit out there? Like this is someone who works corporate at Uniqlo. You know what I mean? And because she knows I have a love for anime, want to like hit me up about certain shit. You know what I mean? So like you never know where your fandom or your nerddom will take you, and because you love that shit, it will open up a whole world of different opportunities, especially as being nerdy becomes more mainstream and profitable. And I was telling this to Spartan, like I feel like nobody loves nerdy shit more than POCs, and how we love nerdy shit is so unique as well, because we really love that shit. You know what I mean? And we always show up. So
it's very unique, because we, at the end of the day, Black people are the culture. Like we steer American culture, we steer pop culture. So if a bunch of us grow up and we're into the the nerdy shit, whether it's wrestling, anime, gaming, movies, hip hop, no, it doesn't matter what it is. We're steering the conversation. We're steering where the money goes. So all I would say is be proud of who you are. If you're a nerd, be proud of that. Wear that as a badge of honor, because that's what I started to do. And ever since I started doing that, it's been nothing but up for me. And now here I am surrounded by other nerds who wear that badge, and I'm happy to be here. Like, it's hard not to love yourself when you love, the things that you love, like wholeheartedly. So,
for sure.
All right, well, that will about wrap up all the things I had. Is there anything y'all want to talk about? Other than that, we can start with outros. Any last words? before we start
I just want to
outros?
say shout outs to you, Spartan. Shout outs to you for forming this round table, bro. It's really dope
yeah,
getting
man.
all these amazing people together, all these different people together, so that way, not just us that are actually on the round table, but the people in the chat can get to know these people, and you know what I mean, get to really bond and get to know a deeper side of them. So big shout outs to you, bro. Big W to you, man. Keep killing this shit, bro. Thank you for having us as guests on here. I really do appreciate you, brother. You already know the vibes, dog.
I appreciate the shit out of all of y'all, like, for taking the time. Like, Sunday we could have been anywhere, we could have been asleep, we could have been doing whatever we want, but y'all spent a few hours with your boy, opened up to the crowd, and really just, I feel a lot closer to all of y'all now. So, going forward, we go keep doing stuff like this. This ain't the end. It could be the beginning of some more. So, inspiring me to do more of these. I want to do at least 2-3 more of these this year. So, thank y'all for making this one so epic, so great. Coming dressed to the nines, looking good, looking great, sharing your amazing stories, laughing with your boy. It's been amazing. Now, outros. Take this time. I don't care how much time it takes. Plug yourself, plug what you're doing, what you got coming up, what you've done. Really just go crazy about yourself right now. Like, we gonna start with Jelani.
Yeah, man. Follow me on everything. Jelani Hendrix on TikTok, YouTube, on here. _Jelani Carter on Twitter. I'm a member of Andromeda Arcade, a really dope stream team full of content creators that use the power of gaming and comedy and music to raise money for people in need. We're dropping merch on Monday.
Hey,
let's go.
I got a mug here. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. And I also co-host the Cool Comic Show, speaking of nerdy shit, with Galactic Mr. E and HD Damien. We've done watch-alongs with She-Hulk and Titans and a whole bunch of stuff. We put people on to different comic books that we're into. We talk about the big movies. So definitely tap in with that YouTube channel and what we got going on there. But that's pretty much it, man. Just tap in with your boy. Have a good time.
Hell yeah.
All right, make sure y'all follow the homie Jelani Hendrix everywhere. Check him out wherever that might be. Prez, you up next.
For sure. So again, I'm the President Noir. You can find me on all major social media sites as President Noir. If you want to follow me here, just click my name on the title, or click my name on guest star, or find me as the President Noir here on Twitch TV. I do a couple different things. My tagline, usually when people come in, I tell them, I talk about mental health, food, dream, relationships, video games, and so on Tuesdays, I have a freestyle kind of podcast segment called Office Talk Tuesdays, which are going to feature some guests pretty soon. Spartan's going to be on there. He just don't know it yet because I ain't asked him. That's going to happen in the future.
If you're ready already, you don't know.
Wednesdays, we do Reddit Wednesdays. We read from the Am I the Asshole subreddit, and we judge people, see whether or not they are in fact the asshole. Thursdays, we usually do community game days. On Saturday, which is kind of like my prime time segment, we have a thing called Serial and Controllers, where we wake up early in the morning and we play a retro game all the way through to completion. So it's kind of like Saturday morning cartoons, but with video games. And we've started to expand that into some different things. At times I've done retro roulette, where I have the computer shuffle like 8 different games. It'll switch like every 2 minutes. I have to kind of switch on the fly what I'm playing. Just yesterday we did 2 players, 1 controller. I talked about that earlier. Me and Ad Said Hi played Super Metroid together, so we were both controlling Samus at the same time. It's a pretty dope experience. So I when I say I'm a variety content creator, I stick to that gun. I am a variety content creator. You're gonna get a little bit of everything. So come vibe with me, come join the administration. We'll see y'all over there.
Oh yeah.
Big ups to the administration. Great community. Like, everything Prez does is gold. Like, make sure y'all go check him out. Absolutely. ID, you up next, my boy.
After this.
Yes, sir. ID, aka Inevitably Dope, man. Twitch streamer, variety streamer, Apex connoisseur, and anime commentator as well. You guys could just click my name here. My man Spartan got it in the title of his thing. It's Inevitably_dope here, Inevitably Dope 2 on TikTok. We almost have 500K followers over on TikTok.
Let's go.
I definitely have some things in store lined up. I can't talk about it yet though. Not allowed. So Y'all just gotta be on the lookout, bro, because it's about to get crazy. It's about to get crazy, man. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, make sure to tune in and vibe up, man. Also on YouTube as well. We almost at 18K over there. Well, no, we are at 18K over there, trying to get to 20K subs. So yeah, make sure you guys go follow up, man. Pull up.
It's on the way.
Yes, sir.
Big ups, ID. Congrats on all the milestones, my brother. I admire everything you've done so far in content. And sometimes I copy you a little bit, but you know, imitation is the best form of flattery.
Exactly.
Take a little bit from everybody, you know. Don't we all?
I'd rather be some Spartan than for some randos. I don't even want to give you credit at all. No,
right.
You know, like,
because I seen that firsthand, brother. So.
Last but certainly not least, Mr. Who's Next himself, the coolestness Kohlberg. Tell us everything, bro. Tell us.
So for me, first I want to thank you for having us on here, man. This was super dope to be a part of this. But yeah, I'm Kohlberg, mostly a variety streamer. I do have the talk show Who's Next. Like I said, I had Prez and Sparty on for Who's Next, and it's just me highlighting content creators that I enjoy watching, that I feel are the next big names on Twitch, or if not the next big names on Twitch, you're going to see these names somewhere. Like, these are people that you should get to know now because you'll definitely know them later. So I like to call my show like a spoiler alert. So anytime you see me outside of the walls of the main roster, whether that be on someone else's channel, like today I'm with Sparty, sometimes you'll see me with Blue, just know, even if they don't recognize it, it's the main event. It's the season finale. Because I only show up for those.
Say that. Bars.
But tonight, if y'all free, man, I would love for all of you to come by the Main Academy Wrestling Federation, aka Mouth. It's an E-Fed that I run that has 2 shows. Usually we're on Wednesday nights with Mouth Emergence, and then we're on Fridays with Mouth After Dark. Tonight at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, we got Shut Your Mouth. It's our premium live event where you'll see some of your favorite streamers battle it out for brand supremacy. Tonight, you'll see me in action with DDL Cam and also surprise guests taking on the Ninja TG, that is Terrible Gaming, also the Royal Josh, and also Donnie Phantom, which if you know Danny Phantom, you could probably imagine where Donnie comes from. But that's one of our matches for tonight. You got Be Nice taking on Smooth Johnson. That's going to be super dope. You got Danny Phantom taking on Rose O'Grady. We got a lot of great matches. So if you got nothing to do, even if you do, pull up a tab. I do commentary as Michael Cold. I do commentary with Blue Satire. He's Blue McAfee. And there's also Bash the Stampede, who is Johnny Styles. So it's usually
my guy Blue Satire one time.
Right.
Bro, if y'all don't go check out Cole tonight, I literally will not let you come back to stream tomorrow. Like, that's just period.
I'm a fist fight you. I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm gonna find
if you think I won't know, believe me, I will know. I will find a way.
I'm definitely pulling up for sure.
But gentlemen, I cannot thank y'all enough again for your time, for your stories, for everything. I'm gonna thank y'all a million times after the cameras are off, like a million times in the group chat, everything. So really, if y'all don't go follow these people, I really don't think you belong here at this point. Like, make sure y'all go follow each and every one of these men right here. These guys are cool as shit. They inspire me every day, every week to do something great, and they can do the same for you. So please make sure y'all go do that.